Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. What's really good, though, family tree? Let me know that you're actually up in the building with me right about now. Yeah. All right. So you already know what you need to do. We just need some interaction, baby. Just some interaction. Shouts out to my queen, Lily Curvo. All right. Shout out to you. Um, yeah. What a wonderful day. So, what I'm actually looking to do right now is open up a show for your guys' benefit. Your guys' benefit. And shout out to my brother Takia. But I personally don't actually want to be on the show today. Not being bad mind or nothing. I don't. I actually want you guys to have some fun and jump in and have some great conversations amongst yourselves. I want to just relax and just hear what you guys got to say, man. So talk to me. Let me see what's up and what's some good topics that we can discuss today. So we've got Lily Curver up in here. We got what's the science tonight? Titans TV. Have you heard Raj's song "Only Allah Can Judge Me"? You're joking, right? I swear, man. You lot are just comedians, or is it Raj has been a comedian? Freezing my today. I'm in the houses around the world. I should kill the prophet. Tell us, Kalam. Oh man. Uh, Purge in France. Really? Okay. Recovering from a heart attack. Wow, Paul Fitzgerald. My goodness. Yeah, let's pray that you get better real soon. Did Aisha drop her necklace or sugar? That can't be Mohin Khan. Is that really Mohin Khan saying certain things like that? I thought you lot had a little bit more of some decency, G. But salute to you. Oh man, my battery is low. Takia Watch is magical indeed. He is on a mission as the conversions are rapidly occurring. Peace and love. Peace and love to Hawaii. Let's see, 2.5 billion Christians up in here. So yeah, talk to us, family. Talk to us. The show is yours. Okay. So, we have dropped the link for you guys. Whatever you guys want to come on discuss, please come on discuss, right? And do the damn damn. Do the damn damn. Unless you want me to come in and just talk for another like 10 minutes or so, you let me know. Remember, I'm saying this show is for you guys. I want you guys to come on and you guys to actually have some fun. So where's my people like Rich Kid, Gabs, you guys, the real MVPs, Kelly all of you guys, okay? Ultra Fun KKK. Where you guys at, man? Why do you give Black Christians a pass when they're demonizing Native African spirituality? Check them, King. Yeah, no, I'm with you. It's for me. I'm trying my very best here, to not bun fire upon people, right? Especially when I know that they need some extra time of nurturing and education, right? So that's why I give certain people passes at times. But of course, when we're in the war stage, and I can see that somebody can, go back to forth with me, then of course I'll burn some fire. I will. But sometimes you gotta show some mercy. You gotta show some graciousness. All right. No one is given a fast. Sugar, you're right, Callum. Abyssinians used to rule all of Arabian Peninsula, mate. Yeah, that's right. It's Imperial Liege Amhara. Kane Brown says, who was in control of the Arabian Peninsula when Islam was created? Okay. It's a very good question, actually. So let me just drop you guys the link again. I'm just going to speak without giving you guys any real sources on it, because I'm just going to quickly talk. So yeah, the Arabian Peninsula, technically speaking, depending on, because there's like three different parts of Arabian Peninsula, right? There is Arabia Deserta, which is kind of at the top. No, sorry, Arabian Petra, which is at the top, right? And then you got Deserta, which is in the middle-ish, and then you've got Felix, which is at the bottom. So Arabia Felix, to be honest with you, that's like Yemen, Oman, all that kind of regions there, right, was in control of the Ethiopian Empire. Then you've got, to be honest with you, the majority of it was in control of the Ethiopian or the Abyssinian Empire, To the north, you actually had the Romans that was in charge. A little bit towards the east, right? You had the Sassanids, okay, which would be considered the Persians, were in control. Now, this is, what I'm saying to you now is according to literature, in terms of actual evidence and things that I've actually seen in terms of records that's been kept externally, there is clearly Abyssinian presence that was in control and did run that empire from quite some time before the rise of Islam. Let's quickly see what's going on. What else is going on? They don't need that time. They need to be ragdolled. Oh, sugar. I knew you was go live. I was planning. Also, what are you saying, Sarah? What are you looking to talk about? You let me know, man. You let me know. It's either you could come on over here, or I can close down this show and go over and watch your show, because I'm not really too fussed. Let's see. They put governors in place on the Arabian Peninsula, but they ruled from Axum. Same goes for in Sudan and Upper Egypt. Yep, definitely. Oh, you know your history. You know your history, Jay. So yeah, talk to me, man. Jay Boogie's up in the building. Is there anything that you guys would like to speak on today? All right. If there is, simply type Titans TV and drop a suggestion. All right. The best suggestion wins. All right. So we got P.O. What's good, P.O.?
Yeah, thank you. Everything is fine. I just joined. I don't know. I don't have a topic, so I have to be patient.
Right, say nothing. We got Speakers Corner UK Rob up in the building as well. We got Kelly on. Kelly on, what's good?
Hey, what's good, man? I want to say that on Discord we had quite an interesting topic about um, the credibility of the Bible, like scientific things like the round of the earth and different translations as a circle, if it's really credible or not. That was very interesting to debate this with people that are not religious.
That's really good. I like that. I actually like that topic. So let's see. Can we get some Christians up in here as well? That would be a nice topic. Okay, so Christians, are you ready? Jews, are you ready?
I somehow discussed this topic about religion and the Bible today too with some guys, and so we're talking about that there are points in the Bible, for example, which can be proven, like historically, that some people who are mentioned in the Bible were really there, but it still didn't prove the God itself, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So there are people who are telling stories, and they can mention some states and some kings and stuff which we can prove, but it still didn't say anything about it if the God is really true.
That's real. That's real. Yeah, the Bible definitely does have some historical elements to it, depending on which part of the Bible you read. Of course, if you try to go into the mythological aspects, please don't try to find any history there. But yeah, there are definitely. We have to remember that the Bible is literally like a library. It's a compilation of different authors and different books at different times. At different time span. And each one of those books were written for various different reasons, right? It's just that we have a whole complete book that we of the perception that it's just uniform, but it really isn't. All right. Someone says here, can you discuss Brexit and the implication it has upon us? You know what? Funnily enough, and this is really bad, right? I'm not actually too clued up on Brexit. So if anybody here has knowledge on Brexit and would like to discuss it, I'm open to be schooled and educated. But I guess nobody's speaking. Nobody's speaking. All right.
No,
what are you saying, Rob? Talk to me.
Either. No, I'm not an expert on that one either.
Is there anything that you would like to discuss today?
Well, we chatted earlier.
About I'm sorry. I heard that Kanye West talked about the Blacksit. You heard of it? He recently said it on the news.
Yeah, I didn't even keep up with with that exactly. I didn't. So Mr. Pro Kaletij, I'm gonna get it right one day. EJ Pro Kaleti Pro Kalet EJ. I'm gonna try it. It says here, is rationality, is it a gift from God so you don't fall for religion? Is rationality a gift from God so you don't fall for religion? Rob, that's your question right there.
Obviously, there's no reason to think that it's true. God could be an explanation. We've got to demonstrate that it's the explanation. And not only that, that no other explanation is even remotely in the ballpark. And of course, they haven't done that. There's plenty of theories of mind about how we can, get our rationality, etc. So I don't see it as a big problem. And the fact that we don't yet have a conclusive answer, just like we don't for some other things, because one of the things that one or two theists will try to claim is that it's impossible to get rationality without God. And, well, go ahead and demonstrate that it's impossible. That's an extraordinary high claim to make, that it's impossible to get, to have or to obtain rationality without God, that the evolutionary process cannot do that. And I welcome their substantial evidence, which I have not yet heard.
So what is the field that actually speaks on how humans...
I think it's evolutionary psychology.
Yes.
And there's people in that field, obviously. Daniel Dennett is obviously a leading philosopher, and he sees no problem with A, consciousness, or B, rationality. How can we say? What's the term? I was listening to it today, actually, with Sean Carroll as well. Emerge. Emergence is a well-known phenomenon. And I was listening to part of Sean Carroll's book, the Big Picture. Worth a read for those who are interested in different topics, not just about astronomy. Obviously, he's quite a renowned cosmologist, but he touches a number of other topics like Bayesian analysis and how we should do that, how we should update our credences and various other things. But I think he also talks about this as well. And, emergence. And what did he say? He said two things today that struck me. It was emergence, and there was another word that he used. Do you know what? I can't think of the word now. But it's like the arrow of time. Was it entropy? Was it entropy? I think it was entropy and emergence. So that was interesting. And then he proceeded to go into quite a detailed where he lost me a little bit at some points with some really deep stuff about that as well. So worth getting hold of that book, The Big Picture by Sean Carroll.
All right, The Big Picture. All right, we got Logical Debater X says, Kalam, give me the link. I want to debate you. The link has been sent out. Let's see if you bite. All right, let me quickly go through. Remember, if you want to get my attention, simply tag Titans TV. TA. Okay. Okay. Procalate TA. I got it. Kanye has said he was being manipulated and has walked away from politics for now, supposedly. I don't know. I saw some, you know what? I don't even want to talk about that actually, because I saw something that was against it. So let me just keep on reading. What does the word Christianity literally mean and the word Islam literally mean? Thanks. Think, fam, think. Okay. Tell us. Break that down. Religion was made up by people who didn't know the real answers when their children asked them unanswerable questions. May the creator of Christianity and Islam be punished, says Amin. Oh, man. All right. So I'm going to hand it over to you guys. Okay. Reggie's here. Religion fails because they deify ethnic groups. These damn ethnic groups create supremacy and racism. Others. All right. So we got Buddha Bing. We got Terrence up in here as well. And yeah, you lot come in, man. Come in. I'm gonna go quiet for the next 5 minutes.
I have a question to Rob. Did you met some of a question like I make them, and they will tell me that I cannot even make a logical argument for atheism because the logic is given by God. So even if I'm not Yeah.
So even if I'm lost, yeah. Even if I'm lost.
Yeah, we have an echo. So 2.5 million. Did you understand my question? Like, they will claim.
Yes, sorry. I thought I was speaking then. I was muted. Yeah. So logic requires rationality, which in turn requires consciousness. So we get back, really, if we wind it back, we get back to consciousness. And Daniel Dennett has talked about, as has Sean Carroll and many others, emergent properties is one well-known phenomenon that could well explain it. Is it fully explained at the moment? As far as I can tell, it's not like some other scientific fact that's absolutely, well, when I say absolutely, proven with a high level of certainty. But that's a very, and many philosophers and scientists suggest that that's the one of the most reasonable ways that consciousness can come from, quote, non-consciousness, because we often hear that, don't we, from the religious. Hey, how can consciousness come from non-consciousness? Or they will be more uncharitable and say things like, well, how can consciousness come from atoms or nothing, or whatever the case may be? And of course, that's not an accurate representation, but it can come in the form of, emergence. I think it's entropy and emergence. I'm sure that's what Sean Carroll was saying today. Entropy talks about the arrow of time, and then over a period of time, you can have this property or this term called emergence, which is, there's something comes into being naturally that has a property that was not there before. And oftentimes they use the example of water, H2O. So, previously you had hydrogen and you had oxygen. You put them together, you now have H2O, water, which has the property of wetness. But wetness, the property, wetness, did not exist prior to hydrogen and oxygen bonding together. So we now have an emergent property. And this is one of the sort of principles that is put forward as a potential explanation for consciousness. So there's the answer, or one answer at least, Pierre.
Yeah.
Let me quickly shout out Ultra Funky for hitting us up with a super chat. So shouts out to Ultra Funky. He says, back at it again. All right, salute to you, King. Remember, if you guys want the link, it's going to be sent out. And yeah, let's keep the conversation flowing.
But some of you guys missed yesterday, and we were talking to Buddha about it, and I think Kalam was on. We had a guy on Manny's show about being the sovereign citizen thing, which is a different topic, isn't it? I mean, it's not something you normally talk about. And for those outside the UK, we had a gentleman on this other hangout that suggested he was the sovereign state of Mike. I think his name was Mike, if I remember correctly, and that he shouldn't be paying taxes, and he doesn't accept or recognize the authority of the United Kingdom or the Queen or the police force or Parliament or anything like that, and everybody can have their own views and do their own thing as long as he can have his, and we don't interfere with each other. And so he had this sort of nirvana type view, and he came with a sovereign citizen view. But I think more potentially concerning was that he used the sovereign citizen type approach to try and help people get out of parking tickets and speeding fines, and ultimately not to pay tax, etc. And he had all these examples of people that he had potentially helped. And so James and I, if you have a look, were on there. I was more interested initially to understand his position, but I think it's hopefully we'll have him on again. I don't know if you've had somebody like that, Kalam, but if not, maybe it's worth getting him on here as well. But have a longer period of time. We only had an hour and a half, and apparently he's been doing this for 8 years. So maybe worth getting some, because that's a very different topic, isn't it? It may not appeal to everybody, but certainly if you live in the UK and you just listen to his views, I think people outside of the UK can kind of relate and make a decision on what they think about it.
I used to love the Freeman on the land.
It's not a freeman, by the way. He specifically on the show said, no, I'm not a freeman. I'm a sovereign citizen, or the sovereign state. I think he used the sovereign state of Mike. I'm a sovereign citizen. I'm not a freeman. He sort of seemed to distance himself from that. So there we go. I don't know what the difference is really.
That's interesting. Yeah, that would definitely be something I would look to have on. I'm also looking to have on what's my brother's name again? Phil, man. I'm looking to have Phil on on the channel as well. So you gotta look out. Look out. We're gonna have some, very explosive shows very soon. Saved by Grace. How you doing?
Hi, everyone. Thank you. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Yes.
Is there anything that you wanted to say? Because I know yesterday you was really trying to get our attention.
Yes, yesterday was it's about Mohammed, about Aisha, about pedophilia. But today is for, I think that's other subject. But I will wait, and then I will see. Maybe I jump in.
Okay. But was there anything that you would like to say?
At that moment, it's first time for me to be in your show, and I will take time to listen, and maybe I will jump later.
Okay. Well, from yesterday, what is it that you actually wanted to say based upon that show? What
it's the first time that I have to. One moment, please.
Mm-hmm.
Kalam, explain to him how he can turn off his camera. I think he's trying to
Yes,
cover his camera.
I want to turn my camera up, but
Yeah. So there is, if you click on your screen, you will
Yes.
see that there is a little icon with a square. It looks like a camera, to be honest, and it's got like a
okay.
yeah. You should be able to see it. Just click on it, and it will show an avatar instead.
Let me see.
Now we see.
What up?
So maybe.
Is now okay?
No, now we see actually you. So maybe you make it back. It have to appear red. This icon
next to the microphone symbol.
Yes, I did that.
Push it again.
Click it again.
Okay, now you see, and then okay.
Nope. Click it
Oh
again.
no. That's first time. Sorry.
Yeah, a touch screen or what would we have?
So
You have to go with your mouse. Do you have a mouse?
no, I'm in my iPhone.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah, I've got an iPhone. So got mic. It has to. The camera has to be white. The button has to be white.
Yeah. So if you look up here on my screen,
Press the button until it goes white.
I don't know if it's good, but like this button up here, turn camera on, off, just click it. Okay.
Really, we're gonna screen share to. Oh, fine.
He may be flipping his phone's camera instead of turning it off.
You can also put something in front of the camera, just
A piece of sticky,
That's
All right. Never mind. When you get that sorted out, we'll get you back in again.
I just joined.
All right. So yeah, anybody else would like to come in?
Did you ask a question?
No, I haven't not really asked a question yet. I'm just saying if anybody else would like to just jump in and speak on whatever topic they would like.
2.5 billion Christians didn't say anything yet. Maybe you can unmute his mic and tell us something.
I'm here. Praise the Lord.
Oh, shit.
Amen.
Yeah, it seems like it's kicking me in and out, so I'm having some problems here.
I think this dude's done it. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Billion, 2.5 billion. Say something.
Just saying, praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. How are you?
Let me guess. Is that Aaron?
Yes. How are you?
I'm good, Aaron. How are you?
Not too bad, thank you.
For those who don't know, Aaron's a regular Christian missionary down at Speaker's Corner.
Yes.
I recognize the voice.
And which Lord do you mean by that? Because the Lord was called Baal at the Phoenicians, and he was the brother of Yahweh, the true God of the Old Testament.
Uh-oh. Shots already being flung, yeah? All right, I see you guys. I see you.
I'm just trying my best.
Pio is an atheist Jew, but loves to defend Judaism every so often.
I was not defending it.
No, I know you weren't doing it there, but
Yeah. No, I'm just saying the Yahweh God from what was mentioned in the Bible comes from the Phoenicians, and the Phoenicians thought or believed in a Yahweh God, and he has a brother called Baal, and he was named the Lord. So if 2.5 billion says, praise the Lord, maybe he means praise Baal. I'm just trying to trigger something.
I think it missed the mark there, Pierre. Is everybody muted? Or is it just me?
Yeah.
Oh,
No, there you go.
fair enough. Since you lot are just like boring as hell, yeah, I might have to kick it off, right? I might have to just kick it off right now. Okay. So, Rob,
Go for it, Kalam.
yeah, I'm on attack mode for you right now. Okay. So, I've been told that you're an agnostic atheist. Could you just, let me know what exactly is an agnostic atheist? Because I think I want to make sure that you take your shahada today as well.
No, I wouldn't consider myself an agnostic atheist. Having listened to some very smart atheists, much smarter than me, I'd consider myself just an atheist. I mean, some people say strong and weak atheism, that sort of stuff. But there's a big difference between an agnostic and an atheist. And I think saying you're agnostic atheist is like agnostic is somebody that sits on the fence. They've got information about a God, let's say, and they've got information against the God, and they can't make a decision. They're undecided. Whatever information they've received from both sides still leaves them at a point of being undecided. An atheist is somebody who, two versions. One, some atheists say, hey, I lack a belief in a God. I used to say that, but again, having listened to very smart people and thinking about it quite deeply, I don't think that's a tenable position. So I'm an atheist who does not believe in a God. And so those people that say they lack a belief, there is in fact a belief going on there. So and I understand why they do it, because obviously the theist is putting forward the positive claim that a God exists. And so the atheist that says, hey, I lack a belief, that in that atheist mind, they go, okay, I don't have to defend my non-belief in a God. You theist have to present your view. But as the philosopher I had on my show probably 6 months ago suggested, and I agree with him, having thought about it quite a bit and so forth, and sort of changed my mind, that whatever we believe, we have a belief about something, and if we've received information, we have a belief about it. So the agnostic position is a potential position, but I don't take that. So I'm an atheist that does not believe. So I would not class myself as an agnostic atheist. I would just say I'm an atheist. Maybe you could say strong, depending on the definition. Just atheist is fine with me, but agnostic would be a separate person from me.
Right, but Rob, you are open to the idea of a creator, though, yeah?
Yeah, it's possible, of course. Yeah.
All right. So right about now, I'm gonna get Rob to take his shahada. Yay! Let's do this. So Rob.
Yeah, open, which only means present an evidence, and this is how we open to it.
Okay. So let me ask Rob a couple of questions then. So Rob, so do you accept that there is a God, or do you reject that people do actually have gods?
Try and phrase that again. Are you asking about the concept of God, or whether people actually believe in the concept?
Yes. So do you accept that there is a concept of God?
Yes, I believe that I accept that people believe in the concept of something called a God or gods. Yeah.
But you basically, reject it for yourself. Like you do not believe or buy into any other person's concept of God. Is that correct?
Yes, none that I've come across that can be demonstrated to be true. I have, as I said once, I don't know if I've done it on this show, I have a concept of a God that if it were demonstrated to be true, I would want to have a relationship with it. That, of course, is not the Abrahamic sort of a God, but I don't see, even in that view, that I could demonstrate that to anybody else or to prove it. But I could, at some point, take on that view, and people could ask questions. I've done that before on I think, on Discord, etc., separately. But in terms of the concept, yes, I accept that there's a concept of it, but I'm not convinced that one exists in reality.
Okay. So what exactly is a God? Because I hear everybody talking about,
Exactly. That's a great question, and that we'd have to put to the person who suggests or who claims there is a God. So it's a great question, Kalam. Not something I can answer. I normally ask somebody else that. If it's a Muslim or a Christian, I tend to have a reasonable understanding. If I hear them saying something that's slightly different from what I normally hear Muslims or Christians say, I might ask, can you describe your God, the characteristics or attributes a little bit more to me? Because, it sounds like you believe slightly something different from the mainstream. But that question would be directed towards theists. So what is a God? Let's say, Aaron, or if we have a Muslim guest in here, they would tell us about their God. And then we have something that we can delve into.
Okay, so that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to try to get Rob to take his Shahada. Is everybody excited at this prospect? I hope we are. So I'm going to ask, let's see.
I
Do
will
we have...
super chat you £1,000 if Rob takes his Shahada today.
Mate, be careful, be careful what you say, right? Because me and Rob might just say, look, we've got this plan already. Shahada, I'm going to split it 5-5 each way,
Plus, we also got that message from a God that Buddha would say that. So there was a prediction there as well that we can prove is true as well. There you go. See?
Awesome. All right,
Yo, Rob, you've been in South London too long, my friend.
I've moved away now.
Man, like content over everything says split that. All right, so this is what we're gonna do now. Yep. I'm gonna get Aaron to come in right now. So, because I know Aaron is a theist, so I want to know what exactly is a God, not your God, but what exactly is a God.
God is the creator. God made everything. Without him, nothing was made that was made. He made all things that we see: humans, animals, being, everything, the planets, the universe. He made all things according to the Bible. Which is the logical sense. Everything that we see around us is created. When we look at the universe is so complex. The universe itself. How can an atheist say that it just all come together randomly? That's what I don't get. I think Rob knows that there is a creator. He's too afraid to accept that. I don't know what he's afraid of. But the Bible is very clear. It makes sense, and I think Rob knows it makes sense, and every atheist out there.
Okay, so I'm gonna try this again, right? So far we've got, the God is the creator and maker of everything, universe, I guess. All right.
But he's...
Sorry, 1 second. Has anybody got a better definition of that, or are we gonna just roll with that definition?
Okay, let me give you a definition.
Go ahead.
God. Anything that is worshipped can be termed a god, inasmuch as the worshipper attributes to it might greater than his own and venerates it. A person can even let his belly be a god. The Bible makes mention of many gods. It shows that the gods of the nation are valued as gods. So it means that anything that is worshipped can be termed a god.
So anything that can be worshipped is a god.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so that's the definition, right? So it's one of those ones, right? It's one of those. It's one of those ones, right? Is that really the definition that we're going for? Because I'm pretty sure that Rob has children, and I'm pretty sure his children look up to him and worship him and adores him and all sorts, right? So I don't think that is the definition we're going for. So I want to know, what exactly is a God, right? What exactly is a God? Can we get a better definition than that? Sorry, Rob, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yo, so okay, we got a God or the God, right? So what I think everyone's talking about is a God. So in my opinion, the God is the one that creates, the creator. So he who creates is, in my opinion, God.
The God, yes.
See that again? Secretly, I don't think that these definitions are strong enough. And the reason why I say that they're not strong enough is either, number one, we can't prove that there is this creator, number one, okay? And number two, every single one of us, including animals, have the capacity to create. So I don't know, man. To me, the definition is not the greatest. I want to know, what exactly is God?
Well, the meaning, if for example, people believe that Yahweh or Jehovah is the name of God. The name actually means he can cause to become. He causes to become. That means he can cause himself to become everything, as small or as big as possible, or you can make his people to become what he desires to become. Maybe that's a definition.
Hmm.
All right, you know what, Kalam? Let me turn it around on you then, yeah?
Hmm.
Okay. What was the first thing created?
What was the first thing
We are
created?
going.
I don't think anybody like knows that, right?
So can something exist before the universe?
So, because we're talking about created, right? And creation takes place in a sentient mind, right? A sentient mind has the ability to cause things or create things out of already existing matter. You dig what I'm saying?
I
And
don't know if causality. Well, yeah, you're right in that sense, but you know, like we can cause things to happen without acknowledging it. Yeah.
yeah. So for
So
me, if we're talking about a creator,
yeah.
we're technically speaking about somebody with in humanity. Like, so when you ask me who's the first creator, I'll need to know who was the first human beings or the first man who picked up, a tool and or created a tool.
I'm thinking bigger than that, Kalam. So I'm saying to you, prior to the universe existing, was there anything else?
So now we have to go into cosmology, right?
We don't know that.
Well,
do we?
no, it's just a question for you to determine an answer.
How we know that, right? Exactly.
Yeah. So
Kalam.
we would technically have to go into cosmology and figure out like what was the how did the universe come to be?
Okay, hazard a guess. What does your intuition tell you?
How the universe came to be?
No. Did anything exist before the universe existed?
Did anything exist before the universe existed? That's a tricky question right there. That's a tricky question.
Yeah. Do you mean our universe?
Yes.
Or by that?
Specifically our universe. Because the way I look at it, there's three things here. Right? The universe could have come into existence, i.e. be created by an entity, a god, a creator, whichever you want to call it. Secondly, the universe can always have existed. Yeah.
Sorry, Buddha, to cut you there. We know for sure since 20 years, and there is a model that shows that our universe and only our, and I'm telling what was before that, is come to existence without help of any god. So if you're asking this question, we don't know because we cannot see above our universe, but we can. There is a model from Hitchens. Sorry, not from Hitchens.
I believe I fixed the problem.
From Hawking. Yeah, he proved 20 years ago that there is no need for a god to create our universe.
Kalam, can I respond?
Stephen Hawking.
Can I speak?
Hold on, family. Let me get you guys to mute up your mics, right? Let me get you guys to mute up your mics. All right, let's do one at a time. Okay. So if you want to speak, just quickly mute your mic and unmute your mic a couple of times so I know who's in the order.
I believe I fixed the problem.
Perfect. All right. So we've got Nwakin Sniper goes first. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to say that there's some scientific takia going on here. If we understand the concept that some people say that God is the source or God is energy, so to say that a God of this universe never created everything would be an inconsistent statement according to the data that we have out there. Do you get what I'm saying? We could easily come to that conclusion based on the data and on the information if we understood that this singularity or this thing is energy. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's energy that created this particular universe. So yeah.
All right. And let me just quickly jump in and let's see if we can get a uniformed agreement on this, right? So far what I'm hearing is this: that which we define as God is that which caused the universe to exist. Is everybody in agreement with that statement?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
So we got one no from Pierre. Let's see, we got how many yeses? So let's just go through.
Yes.
Start with Christian first.
I
Aaron.
missed the question. Pose the question again, please, Callum.
Okay.
What's the question again?
So it seems as though the not the question. The question is the definition of God that which caused the universe to exist?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, so
In my
Buddha,
opinion, yes.
Yes.
Dugoya, yes. All right, Jump Street. Kenny,
Yeah.
I already know you, Maku. Saved by Grace. What do you say?
God is the reason that he created.
Okay, cool.
God is the reason. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. And Rob.
No, I'm not satisfied with that. If you're just asking, is it the definition? Then one could subjectively claim that's a definition, but we'd have to do a bit more work than that. So I'm going to say no on that at this stage.
Okay. All right, but what I want to say this, right? Can we say this? Okay, whatever caused the universe to exist, right? We all on the panel agree that's God.
No, of course not.
Of course, still no.
All right, let me hear from. Why not?
The question is why not?
And that's the PO because there's.
Okay. Sorry. So, as I told before, Stephen Hawking made already a model which proves that, and it is not really a new model, which shows that there is no need for a God to create our universe.
Okay, can you post that?
What was the cause? No, you have to just look up Stephen Hawking, and there is tons, and I cannot summarize it in one sentence. He just made up the model, and this model is 20 years old, coming from the singularity and how all these particles came to exist and the expansion, the Big Bang and stuff. There is no God needed in this model.
No problem.
I think you're
wait. We don't know what was before that, before this event started to cause our universe. We have just only an explanation that it could have been done without any supernatural being. So if you ask me what was before that, like blah blah blah, we don't know. This is what we don't know. But if you ask me the specific question, how was our universe created, is the definition of a God something what caused our universe to come into being? I will disagree, because we have a model which shows there is no need for a God to create our universe.
No problem. We're not asking for the supernatural, what people believe God is. What I want to say right now, let me actually write this up. Because Nosun dropped a little quick bomb. What did my brother say? Call that what caused the universe X and take it from there. Okay. So that which caused the universe to exist equals X. This is gonna be real fun. All right.
And that's where I was going.
Too big. All right. That which caused the universe to exist equals X. Okay. So let's do that.
Let's do that.
Can I maybe finish my thought before you carry on with that? Or?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, so it's maybe 4. In fact, there's infinite possibilities. But the three that I subscribe to is this: the universe was created, the universe always existed, the universe just came into existence. So those three options there.
Two of those are the
Possibly
same,
four,
though, Buddha.
5, infinite universe. Can you hear me?
Yeah, two of those are the
Hello?
same, though, hey? Two of those are the same. You've only got two possibilities, not three.
Yeah, there's multiple. Two or three are the same.
Could you say the two again, please?
Right. So first of all, the universe was created. Secondly, the universe has always existed. Thirdly, the universe came into existence on its own accord.
Okay. So, Rob, can you clarify those two? You narrowed
Yeah,
down
I mean,
two.
the two of those are kind of very similar. Either the universe began to exist in some form, or it's eternal. Those are the two options. Those are the two options that all the scientists tell us. So if there's a third option that they are unaware of or not telling us, then obviously we can talk about that. But either the universe had some sort of a beginning, whatever that might have been, or it's eternal.
Okay.
Well, no, I was going to go into, like when we say the universe is an illusion, blah, blah, blah. There's so many different types of perspectives on viewing this. But just to clarify those three, the universe was created, i.e. something or some entity willed the universe to come into existence. The universe always existed, or the universe came about upon its own fruition.
Okay, so let's do this now. All right. So, Rob, did the universe come to exist, or did it always exist?
We don't know. We're agnostic on that. That's what the science tells us at the moment. There's different models. There's no conclusive evidence. Every human being on this planet should be agnostic. And of course, we have the majority of people on this panel who are not agnostic, who will put forward a positive position without conclusive evidence. And we can dismiss that, as Phil quite rightly said to Hamza and other people in the park about a month ago.
Right. And how do we define the universe? What exactly, when we say the universe, what do we mean by that?
Well, that depends on who you speak to, I guess. But at this moment in time, I use the term the local universe, because it could well be that there's a multiverse. So when we say the universe, possibly what we're talking about is our local universe. Because if there is a multiverse, then of course that's
right.
Other universes. But I would just say the local universe.
Okay, so I don't want to go into the whole multiverse thing, man. That's just going to be a headache. But I would say this: everything we know or can conceive of, everything that exists or has existed, was created by the universe.
Created by the universe.
So the universe created itself. Is that what you're saying, Buddha?
Sorry, say that again, Rob.
You said everything that exists was created by the universe. So the universe created itself.
Possibly, like I said in the third aspect, the universe came into existence of its own accord.
Well, there is a model that suggests the universe can self-create. But again, that's why when you asked Kalam the question, what's your intuition on these matters is the worst thing you could ever use. Whatever you do, do not use intuition to try and understand the origin of the universe. That's the worst possible way you can possibly go. Because if you understand some of these models, they're completely counterintuitive. And yet they don't defy the laws of physics, general relativity, quantum mechanics.
So you tell us, Rob, what's your...
Hold on, one second.
Hold on.
I swear the statement I made... Yeah.
Hold on, family. Sorry, I just need to, show some love, man. I need to show some love, family. All right, so gain knowledge wherever says it's not much, but every little helps. In academic field, anything outside observable universe is guessing, or at best, philosophy. Puts a smile on your face. Yeah, buddy. All right, shouts out to Gain Knowledge Wherever. Salute, salute. For all of you guys who actually support Titans TV, love you guys, right? Right now, the show is running because of you guys for showing that love and showing that reciprocity. So peace and love to you, family. All right, let's go back into Brother Maku and then afterwards to Rob.
I swear I did say that this supposed God concept, yeah, is energy. So I'm asking, are they suggesting that the universe was not created, or even if it wasn't created or it just came about, it's still the root of it is not energy. Or what are we saying?
We don't know is the answer.
You don't know.
Correct.
But Marco, on the other side, if you know it was energy, why you call it God?
I believe it was.
Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. The fact that you're here and you conceive that's consciousness, isn't it? Yeah, you have a form of consciousness. You get what I'm saying? How is it hard to perceive that energy and everything in our universe has its own form of consciousness? And that at source, there might be a unified consciousness, you know what I mean? That caused everything into being.
But
Well,
Michael,
I subscribe to that.
I'm sorry, yeah.
I subscribe. Hold up, PO. I subscribe to the energy and resonance. I think everything
Right, we can't pinpoint our consciousness, can we? We can't put it on the chart. We can't take it out of the body and then put it on the side and say, "Look, this is consciousness." But we know
everything resonates. Yeah.
Right.
So resonate, you need to have an energy. So everything has energy.
It's a mass of electrical impulses and blah blah blah. It's still energy.
Okay, let me stop you guys real quickly, okay? Because I want to know. All right, can anybody here demonstrate or prove that the universe began to exist? Had a point of origin? Can anybody prove that?
I'm of the idea that it always existed with Buddha.
Okay.
Kalam, if I could prove that, I'd be having a Nobel Peace Prize, bro. Come on, man. Nobody can prove that right about now.
Okay.
Yeah, I just think, things go in cycles. So I believe that what we're experiencing is just a cycle. And we're talking in the confines of the Milky Way. So what we know about the universe is really only within our available galaxy. So, we haven't even got out of that yet. We can see other observable galaxies, but, let's just deal with what's closer to home. Everybody wants to talk about universe and multiverse and thing. We're all in the confines right now of the Milky Way.
Maku, you realize that we have observed the cosmic microwave background, right?
Right.
You know how old that is?
Is that energy though?
It's I guess you could say it's a form of energy potentially, but that goes back 13.8 or just under 13.8 billion years.
That's right. That's what they say.
So we've observed outside of our galaxy by billions of years. The Hubble Ultra Deep Field has looked back at galaxies whose light is only hitting us now at about 9.5 billion years ago.
Right.
So we have observed, and we've observed galaxies accelerating away from us faster and faster. And we think that the universe is way bigger than we can observe, because some of these galaxies would probably be outside of the range that we can see, and that light will never reach us because they're accelerating faster than the speed of light. Get your head around that.
So, can we stick to our galaxy though? Can we stick to our galaxy? Can we?
Hold on, Sniper. Hold on. Let me get Raskin in. Go ahead, Raskin.
Yeah, you asked, do we know can we prove if the universe was created? I just want to try and bring this back down to our plane of existence and look at the way that we can create things, and then maybe that will give us a better understanding of if the universe was created or not. So there's 3 ways that a man can create. The first one would be to source some materials and make something out of it. This is void because they would have to imply that there was some materials for the universe to use in the first place to be made. So that's void. The second way a man can make is through procreation. So a man and a female would get together and make a baby. This kind of is not true, because how would a universe, multiply itself? Something would have to be made in the first place. So that's out of the question. The third way a man can create is through his imagination, through mental imagery. We can create something in our mind. So, using, this kind of mental, thing, we can create something. That's 3 ways man can create. So, if we apply that to the universe, we could come to, that there might have been a point of creation.
All right. I see you, Peter. Just hot second though, okay? So what we realize right now is that none of us here can prove that the universe began to exist. Right? So if we can't prove that the universe began to exist, how do we claim that there was something that caused it to exist in the first place? That's a question I'm throwing out there.
Well, I like I said, I don't subscribe to one thing. I subscribe to three things. I accept all three could be true.
Yeah, I want to ask Rob, where did that same residual energy is coming from somewhere to a single point, supposedly. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm saying even that single point might not be the beginning of existence, but might be the beginning of our galaxy. You know what I'm saying? The emergence of our galaxy. Let's not go too far with this because science hasn't even gone as far. You know, they're still working out how old our sun is, our planet is, our universe is, our solar system is. You get what I'm saying? They're still struggling. That Hubble space probe is still going out into the endless universe right now. So yeah.
Okay. So let me jump back in again. Yeah. So let's just I want to just get this wrapped around, right? And everybody, like, we've got what, over 200 people viewing right now, and you already ain't really hitting up the like button. You lot don't have no respect, you know. No respect at all, at all. All right. So, all right. So the universe began to exist. We don't know. The universe always existed. We don't know. But yet we claim that something caused something that we don't even know began to exist.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That means
I'm scratching my head right now. That one there is real problematic. Let me just do that again. Let me just think about that again, right? The universe always existed. We don't know. The universe began to exist. We still don't know. But yet we are claiming that the universe did begin to exist and something caused it to exist. But yet we haven't even established that the universe began to exist.
Nicely
So
put.
come to a conclusion that doesn't follow the premise. Okay, cool. Say nothing. Rob, do you want to come in quickly?
No, that's you've done a wonderful job there.
Okay.
Couldn't have said that better.
All right. So I'm inviting you guys on, right? Any of you guys would like to come on? I want a theist to come on. Okay. So please jump on. Let's have some fun. Right? Yeah. We opened it up. All right. I'm getting you guys to take your shahadas today. All right. I want y'all to bear with. And for those of you guys who don't know, shahada means to bear witness, and it's to bear witness and to give testimony to the truth. So I want you all to testify right now that you don't know if the universe began to exist, and you definitely don't know then that something caused something that you don't know that began to exist to actually exist. We're gonna get everybody to take their shahada today. All right, family. Let's open it back up.
All right, so if I, for example, go to Genesis 1, it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
Yes, amen.
It means first there was God, and then he created everything around him. Maybe that's making it even hard to get to the evidence we can see where it started.
That's right.
Yeah, so this is like where actually the report of it actually proves to become in existence.
So I'm sorry. With the information we have these days, yeah, not to knock the Bible, but do you think we can like elaborate more now on that on those statements? Do you get what I'm saying? Because I mean, we as human beings, we can conceive to a certain level. Do you get what I'm saying? And at different times, if we go back into the past, you know, they might have been more romantic with it. But now we're in, you know, the 2000s. We're sitting here. Some people are using science. Some people are using religion, which I don't know how you can do that. Do you get what I'm saying? I think that cancels you out automatically if we're talking about thing, because these are not scientific, historical facts when we're dealing with these books. So I don't even think they should be involved in this conversation.
Well,
But
like you said,
that's up to you. That's up to you. You know,
like
I mean,
you
that's
said,
just my opinion. Sorry.
I would like to interrupt too, because he quotes in the Genesis, it said, God created the heaven and the earth, which would mean the earth was first there and then the stars. And we know for sure the stars were before the earth. So even there, the Bible is wrong.
no, it says the heavens were first. Then
jump into the Bible, give me a second, family. Before we jump into the Bible, we've got my brother Middlesex Omar up in the building, and he asked a very pertinent question. He says here, this is very important. Listen up, everybody. Yeah, what about the Big Bang Theory? That would suggest. So the Big Bang Theory suggests that the universe began 13.6 billion years ago. Can someone comment on this, please? So Rob, right? I know you're definitely friends with Skydive Phil, so you can, hopefully that knowledge is passed on to you. So did the universe begin to exist 13.6 billion years ago?
No, that doesn't suggest that at the beginning. It just suggests that the Big Bang is not the beginning of the universe. That's the point that Phil always makes at Speaker's Corner. The Big Bang is not the beginning of the universe. The Big Bang is an inflationary period, a rapid inflation, but we do not know prior to the Big Bang whether the universe existed eternally in some form or began to exist in some form. We don't know. In the Big Bang, you can only wind back to a certain point. Right. Past that, we do not know. And as Phil's made the point, that you can't even use the word begin if there was no time prior to that. So if time came into existence with the Big Bang, then you can't even use the word before. I think that's more of a scientific approach, because I think a philosophical approach can bypass that. But the Big Bang is not evidence of a beginning necessarily. It could be, but we do not know. The big point to take away is we should all be agnostic. And of course, some of us are not.
So what exactly is the singularity?
Well, that was an older thing, wasn't it? That was what Pierre was talking about, Stephen Hawking. But again, having chatted to Phil about that, Stephen Hawking and his collaborator, Roger Penrose, no longer believe in that. And there's various scientific reasons why that the singularity theory, as they postulated in 1997, I think it was, that no longer holds for, because we also believe that gravity was repulsive. And if that's the case, then the singularity theorem does not work as it was postulated. So there's reason to think that that's not necessarily one of the better models these days.
So basically, they don't know.
Correct. They're not conclusive. There are models that suggest an eternal universe. There are models that suggest the universe had a beginning. But whichever way you go, with a scientific view, there are plausible naturalistic explanations to both of those. So that none of these go, hey, insert God here. None of those, and they have plausible explanations, but we don't know is the big answer. So if you go down either option, you are being more speculative than the scientists are. So
yeah, but Rob, can I ask you a question? Rob, can I say something? There's one thing that you can't deny. You can't deny that there is a creator. We know that human, we create laptops, phones, they all created. You can't deny that the sun, as I said, we had a discussion about this last year, the sun is more complex than these material things. So did a phone just come together by itself?
Can I ask you a question? Why is your cross?
No, I'm finished yet. Did a mobile phone come to exist by itself?
Irritating me. Your cross is not in the middle. Why is that?
Excuse me?
Your cross on your avatar, it's wonky. It's on the edge. Is there a reason why it's on the other side?
I'm speaking about something else. We'll come to that in a minute. I'm asking Rob a question.
In the middle, or just notice. That's all. Carry on.
Yeah, Rob.
Probably
So
to annoy you.
okay, fine. Rob, did a mobile phone come together by itself?
No, it didn't, Aaron.
Okay, so is the sun more complex than a mobile phone?
I don't know, Aaron. How do we establish complexity, Aaron?
See, doesn't mean Rob is being silly. He knows
how do we establish complexity, Aaron?
Hang on.
Ali Dower Turner, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, of course. Yeah.
No, but it's true though. Rob knows the sun is more complex than a mobile phone, but he doesn't want to admit
How do we establish complexity, Aaron? Can you give me a methodology, please?
Is the sun more complex than a mobile phone?
I don't know, Aaron. I need a methodology to establish one is more complex than the other. How do we establish that, Aaron?
Now he's playing games. He wants to go into
I'm
terminology.
asking you a legitimate question. What methodology do we use to establish which one is more complex? What do you mean by complex?
In power, in brightness, in hotness, in everything.
Okay, so in other words, you're already establishing. You're begging the question because you're already establishing hotness, power. What do you mean by power? Light. So you're already establishing that the sun must be by virtue of that. So your methodology already points towards the sun. That's not a proper methodology, is it, Aaron?
It's just an example.
I could say to you, Aaron. I could say to you, hey, what complexity is circuitry that is very finely put together, Aaron. That's what I consider complexity. Now, which one is more complex, the sun or the mobile phone, according to my definition of complexity?
Titan, can you referee? He will go on.
Rob's been. I don't know. He's just been like playing games with all these terminologies.
But
he knows,
I'm showing you.
No, but he knows.
Referee.
No, but he knows what I'm talking about. But he's been. I don't know why he's been like this. But he knows exactly.
He'll carry on. He'll carry on. The whole conversation will be back and forth. So someone has to referee him.
Oh, Jenna, why do you interrupt?
There you go. Carry on, man. Carry on. I'm enjoying, man. I'm enjoying. Let's all enjoy this conversation.
No, but Rob knows that the sun, the powerful sun, which is bigger than anything, he knows that's more complex and in every single way, shape, or form than a mobile phone. He knows it, but he doesn't want to admit it. So,
Aaron, the fact that you keep telling me I know it is not going to make it any better for you.
It's true.
You need to demonstrate that there's a methodology.
A child knows this.
And if you're going to use a subjective thing about the hotness, I can use a subjective thing about the circuitry.
Yeah, but I'm saying in everything, the sun is more powerful and complex than the phone. Okay, is the sun harder than the phone? It is, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, Aaron. The sun is hotter than the phone. Aaron, is the phone circuitry more finely tuned than the sun's?
The phone? No.
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 Can you point to the circuitry in the sun that's more finely tuned than the phone, Aaron?
No, but you know what I'm talking
using
about.
your subjective. You know your subjective methodology here, right?
Yeah. Can you send SMS with the sun?
That's what I'm saying. The phone can make phone calls, but I'm not talking about that.
So now the phone has more abilities than the sun.
Without the sun, we have no life. Without the sun, there's no phone. Without the sun, there's no phone. Without the sun, you wouldn't be here today.
Aaron.
Yes.
If you want to make this argument, which you legitimately can, what you need to go away and establish is
Can we exist without the sun?
Aaron, if you want to go away if you want to make this argument, you need to come with a methodology that you and I agree on that we can establish if something is more complex than another.
Okay.
And if you're just going to give a subjective opinion that points towards the sun, I can equally use one to point towards the mobile phone, and that gets us nowhere.
Okay.
So if you want to do this, Aaron, you need to do a little bit more research on this.
Can we make a phone call without the sun being there?
No, Aaron, I don't think we can make a phone call without the sun because we wouldn't be here. No life would be on Earth.
You know that the sun, without the sun, we can't do anything, right? So therefore, you have to conclude that the sun is complex and more powerful than the phone.
No, Aaron. No, Aaron. That's a non sequitur, Aaron. All I have to conclude.
I'm finished.
All we have to conclude is without the sun, we wouldn't exist. That doesn't make it more complex. That just means that it's more complex. Our existence.
No, but you know it's more complex, but you don't want to admit it. You use all these terminologies to get out.
You can keep asserting that, Aaron, but we're not going to get anywhere by that.
All right, let's switch it up. Let's switch it up, man. I was enjoying myself personally. Yeah, some of you guys, it might not be your cup of tea, but I like this. Yeah, I really do. So. Let's see what we can do right now. We've got a panel. Are we filled up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're filled up right now. So if you guys are trying to get in, just keep looking on the oopsies. I just, message you guys something else. So yeah, if you guys would like to come in, just keep looking on the screen, right? And wait for the most opportune moment, right? As soon as somebody drops out, make sure you click the button like crazy, real fast, right? So I know we're not going to get anywhere on that front, okay? So I want to go into the realms of metaphysics. Can we do that? Can we do that? Can we do that? So we have this quality within inside of us. Is it quality? What do we call that which makes us create? Anybody? Like we're creators, right? Is that an abstract quality?
Inspiration.
Unique.
It's not unique.
Yes, it's unique because every creative art is unique. It comes from that personal human being, so art is creative.
Okay, so what I'm saying to you is that we have certain qualities about us, right? So like some of us, we've got the quality of love inside of us. We've got the quality of, bossiness inside of us, okay? All of these great qualities, I'm going to try to go into the realms of metaphysics right now. I want to know, where does the quality of being a lover come from? Like, where does that come from?
You mean love or physical?
No, let me be more specific. What term can I use? Somebody give me a term.
Reproduction.
I think he's talking about emotion, no?
Let me see. What is something that I can talk about? The ultimate good, generosity, giving. Okay, so yes, the quality of giving, right? Giving, right? Where does that quality actually originate from?
Love, maybe. It's a part of love.
Kindness. Some people are, naturally kind.
I don't think he's looking for this, but I will say it's not limited to only to us, because if you state the question like that, it will mean only us humans can do it. But we can observe it even in the animal life, that some animals are kind to each other or doing stuff that they're not supposed to do. So it's just, I would say, some of this is just reduced to the fact how we reproduce.
It's also like evolutionary as well, because you see that tribes that shared more and were more cooperative with each other were more successful and therefore survived longer.
Maybe it distinguishes us as people that we have empathy. We can intercept. We can look things to before things happen, so we can solve them before it actually has to happen. That's what I would say.
And I will go back to the point that it's a part of evolution, because we have our brains and the ability to make art and music and stuff we enjoy and like. It's the ability of our brain, and because we have this brain, we can do it, and we should be lucky to have this brain. But it's nothing which is come from supernatural or is not existent elsewhere.
No, it's actually talent. Not everyone has the talent to create art and all things like that. So it's natural talent. Some people are good at it, and some people get better due to.
Yeah. This helps.
Sorry, can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Pio.
Yes.
Could you explain to me what you think supernatural is?
Okay, I brought this stuff up. Supernatural is magic for me.
And what is magic?
Something like creating stuff from nothing.
Is that magic or alchemy?
No, it's magic. Like the atheist would say, God created something into being through his thoughts. That this is for me magic.
Okay, so you are an atheist, yeah?
Yes.
And you believe in magic?
No.
So why would you use magic as a turn of phrase then?
Yeah, because we are not talking about the magic. We were talking where creativity and stuff came from. And Jarina's argument was, for example, yeah, it's talent, blah blah blah. And and my response was just, yes, it's something what we can do because we have brains, because we have an evolved brain. But some parts, some parts. Yeah.
You still ain't answered the question one, and that's not really giving me, as I say, it's not really giving me a clear definition of what you're saying magic is. One, that you believe in magic, yeah.
No,
And
I said I know the definition.
okay. Two, not observing that people who never understood certain sciences in the past called those activities magic. So is that what you're suggesting?
No, I call the stuff magic if someone says that we call it magic because we know magicians from the past, and people believe, oh, they're creating stuff out of nothing. Today we know it's an illusion.
Right. So they're illusionists. So hold on. There's illusionists, and there's even schools for that.
Right.
You found out in the secret societies they had schools where they taught people how to become illusionists and magicians, and that type of thing. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about something you say magic, something that is outside. And because remember, we're dealing with supernatural. Do you get what I'm saying? So I want to know what supernatural is. I personally think what supernatural is for me is things that we, with our tools of science and all of these other things, cannot explain. Do you get what I'm saying?
I know what supernatural is.
Okay.
I agree partially to you, Mike, that we explain this stuff what we cannot understand as magic. I will agree to you this, but it has no explanation power. It's just we do not understand it.
Okay. So you're saying, yeah, you're using that term, but that's not your methodology, is it?
No, because I don't believe in magic, and there is no proof of it. It was used for centuries by other people who believed in this, right? So this is how we came to this definition today. So because my ancestors or people 100 years ago believed in magic, and they described it as magic, so that's why I know this term. It's not like I use it as a definition because I believe in it. You understand?
Okay. I think what I'm trying to explain is, imagine you took one of your ancestors from maybe the last century and brought them to today to live and be around you, to be on a hangout and watch you on a hangout and all of these type of things. Would that individual maybe consider that magic?
If he couldn't explain, I will agree to you that he couldn't explain the stuff, how it works.
Right.
And for him, it will be something like, I'll be godlike to him.
All right.
Yeah, but it would be considered a form of magic, yes or no?
Family, real quickly. Let's do this, right? Rob, if you're still there, right, I gotta quickly just shoot out real quickly. So I would love for you to moderate if that's possible. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, buddy.
All right, cool. So yeah, I'd like you to moderate. I'm gonna let Noapian Sniper and PO continue, but I would quickly wanted to say that the supernatural actually does exist, right? And one example of supernatural has to be an orgasm.
Amen,
All right, family, I'm gone.
Oh man.
Amen.
You funny.
All right, guys, where are we with this now? Put a proposition so we can have a discussion.
So my proposition is, Rob, that what PO is calling magic, unless he's in the realms of fantasy and thing, which I'm trying to assume that he's not. Being anti-theos, is supposed to be that your brain is steeped in a logical way of thinking. So saying terms like magic seems a bit strange if you can't define it, and things like supernatural. Do you get what I'm saying? So anything that is out of the realms of our thought could be considered supernatural. Anything that we don't understand as a science or as a form of chemistry or physics or something could be considered magic. So I need my brother Pio to give me clear definitions on what he's talking about.
Right. And am I audible? Yes. My definition was that I know the term magic, how it was used in former times. So this is why I know this term, and I know what the people are believed. But somehow you try to say, because I'm using those terms, I'm believing in them. No, I don't. It's just the definition of the words that people in former times believed in stuff like creating something from nothing or make things appear. And then we agreed, oh, there are illusionists who are capable of doing it today. And even today, there'll be illusionist in front of me and he will perform a magic trick. And I couldn't believe, or I will not understand how it works. But then he will explain to me how it works. And I will know, oh, this is not magic. These are skills.
Okay, but Pio, I think the question maybe, or part of the thing that Nuwabi and Sniper is getting to, Maku's getting to, is why use the word magic? Just what's wrong with using supernatural or extraordinary? Because when an Answer does it, and I said to him today when we were chatting, I said, Answer, you know, the religious folks are going to get defensive if you use the word magic because it has a connotation that they don't agree with. So why use the word magic if it's supernatural or extraordinary would do a better job, because magic seems to be like an insult to them. Now, you could do it if you want to, but if you want to have a conversation, then people are going to challenge you on that. Go, you know, you're not having a serious conversation. So maybe it's a case of not using the word magic, because we understand magic today, but that's not applicable to what they are claiming, right?
Yeah, but we came to this point because we are talking about creativity, and only the thing I said was it's not a point of magic or whatsoever. It's the ability of our brain. And then Mike argue with me why you use this term if you don't believe in it, like why I'm using this term at all to explain something. Do you understand now?
Oh no,
Yeah.
I was more into your definition of what you thought it was. Not that I was judging you. I was just, you know, because I just noticed that as an observation. You're an atheist, but you actually believe in something.
No, that was the point. It was just like a counter argument. I don't believe this was magic, and you accuse me. Oh, you use this word. You know.
Well, if you're using it and attaching it to a particular people, then I would assume that you know what you're talking about. You're gonna say you know what definition you're using it for.
I think he's explained that though, Maku. I mean, people could use
Yeah,
words
no,
that they don't believe in,
that's
right?
fine. I think everybody's got that. So yeah, that's cool.
Well, let's open it up to some other people here. Does anybody else want to join in? I mean, the original question, I think, was, to be honest, was kind of an odd one that Kalam put out about something about being in love, not being in love. I missed it slightly. What was the question originally?
The question was something about how we get, how we're doing art, or why we are capable of this. I think this was the direction of it, where this came from. Is this something?
Okay. Does anybody else want to join in? And if that's the question, how are we capable of art? Is that the question?
I think it's because we have the capability to observe, to see, to calculate, to react to it, to test. And that's the capabilities we are, and we are much more advanced as this than, for example, animals could do. I think it also depends from what kind of household you come from, so that you get a talent. And actually, a talent can be given with you, but it can also be practiced. And they say that practice make art. So I think to go by these is very grounded information.
Can we do what Kalam? Can we do what Kalam did? And can we get a definition of art from everybody in the panel? Because a spider web could be, art. None of us can create that. That could be considered art. So could we get from everybody what they understand by art?
Well, I'm an artiste.
So art.
Art.
Expression.
What do you understand by art?
Expression.
I see art and the capability to do art as a form of copying or perception, because I mean, whatever I see as an artist is what I have to reproduce on paper. Now, anything else is being created from the images I also remember in my mind and then put on paper again. Do you get what I'm saying?
I mean, does that? Well, let me ask a different question to the panel, and everybody can join in here. Is
Yeah,
art only? Is art only? Can we only say humans create art, or do animals create art as well?
animals create art, I think, personally, too.
Art's in the mind of the person that's viewing it, because anything can be art nowadays. You go to these new modern contemporary art galleries, they've got like a crisp packet on a fucking white canvas. Sorry for swearing. On a white canvas, and people are analysing it, think it's the best thing. But yeah, no, back what Maku said, yeah, I mean, everyone builds art off of their human experience. And to really say something is original is quite difficult, because we've lived life, we've seen certain images and objects and experiences, and we produce something, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, off of that. So yeah, art is really just a reproduction of our mind, conscious and unconscious things we've seen.
I think maybe what as you're speaking now, I think maybe what Kalam is getting to, maybe I'm trying to see if I can understand what his question is. How are we as humans capable of love, of art, etc.? How could that be explained? Now, presumably, the theist in the room would explain that by God, giving us this ability, and then the atheist would presumably, like myself and Theo, might say something like it's an emergent property of our consciousness and our rationale and so forth. Would that be correct for people?
I don't know. I think has to do also with some emotion than just a rational view about art. It's an expression how you feel at certain points. I think it makes a difference.
We've got lots of other people in here.
It even starts, with the cavemen, and they were drawing, like scratching in buffaloes and random animals on the walls. Like, it goes way back. So I'd say decoration, expression. Like Native Americans and other like ancient tribes used to decorate themselves to make a distinction from their people to the tribe opposite to them. So, but how or why? Yeah, many reasons. This, what I just mentioned.
I guess the bigger question is, how do we come by this capability? Because presumably most animals can't do it to the level that we as humans can. So how is it that we have this ability that other animals don't? Or to love, or whatever the case may be. How do we get that? Where does it come from?
Admiration, perhaps. I mean, if you look at for the ancient Egypts, they wanted to have a love for being beautiful. So they had, like, for example, they traded hair or makeup. They think it was art, to feel admirable. It's an expression.
Them ancient tribes as well, like where art started, like in the caves and that. I mean, they're just surrounded by nature and like beautiful mountains and rivers, and probably affected them in some way.
Yeah, like you see these ancient tribes also, like these chiefs. They have feathers of birds in the decoration and all that. So they very copied a lot of the nature around them.
Buddha,
You
what's
know
your
what?
thoughts? Are you still there?
Art probably came from our ability, if you believe in evolution, that we started making tools. So it was that ability to create and to invent, and led on to other ways of expressing it through art and whatever else. So there probably is an evolutionary thing to it as well. Connection.
Yeah, I think so. All right, I think let's move on, because I'm not sure where Kalam was attempting to go with that. So we can either move on or go back to the universe. What do you guys want to do? Because I'm not sure how we progress this, and without Kalam being here, it's difficult to mind read where he was attempting to go with that. Clearly, he kept talking about the
What
Shahada.
about his last sentence that the orgasm is something supernatural?
Oh, don't talk about that. Disgusting.
Why is it disgusting? Like, just say yes or no. I mean,
because Adam wasn't procreated; he was created, according to the Christians.
Rob, are you there, Rob?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello.
Yeah, I was told, Rob, that you was a police officer in South Africa. Is that correct?
Yes, I was. Yeah.
And can you tell me how many black people you killed in South Africa?
No.
Are you a troll or?
I'm asking a genuine question.
No, I didn't kill any black people in South Africa. Shall we move on?
Because
a ridiculous question.
You were asked about this and you refused to answer it.
Well, I've just answered your question, haven't I?
You're lying, Bob.
Have you got another question?
No, we're gonna stick on this question.
Well, I've just answered your question, haven't I?
No.
Be genuine.
No, I shouldn't say things like that.
Let's
what's
move
the point of this, Nino?
I know.
It's a simple question. He's not answered it in a correct manner, so I wanted to tell him the truth.
He answered your question.
Yeah, but Rob wouldn't answer that question.
I just did. I just did.
He's not being genuine.
Rob isn't a racist.
Yeah, and how do you know he's not genuine?
Says who?
Pause on that racism.
Says who? Like I just told you, I was told by somebody that he was a police officer in South Africa. I'm not going to say who told me, so I want him to give me a genuine answer as to how many black people he killed.
He said none. Are you deaf?
Okay, was this during apartheid?
It was during and after apartheid. So it was actually during the period when Mandela was released.
Okay, so you might not have killed, but have you brutalized any people of color?
Have I done what? Sorry.
Have you brutalized? Because there was a lot of brutalization. You know, police running up on people in the townships and shooting them.
No, I never did that.
And gassing them and water cannons and all of that. So you never partook in any.
No. But did I have to physically restrain people at certain points? Yes. But did I ever beat anybody or do anything illegal? No.
Well, we're not saying that's illegal in apartheid. All those actions were sanctioned, obviously.
Well, I'm talking about me. I'm obviously whatever other policemen did is illegal, right?
Right, you're saying it's illegal now, but I'm saying, was it illegal at the time? No, I don't think it was.
Exactly.
Well, it depends what action it was. You're probably right. I mean, some of the policemen would have. I'm sure it would have been strictly illegal in the sense that they would have been committing violence. But would that have been sort of swept under the rug? Quite possibly. Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah, probably human rights violations. Yeah, most definitely. But to say that.
But strictly by the law, they would have been guilty. Was the law enforced on them? Probably not. That's quite probable. Yeah. But were they guilty of an offence by the statutes of the country? Yes, if they had assaulted somebody, without any reason.
And that happened on multiple occasions, as we know, yeah?
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Nobody's denying that.
Right. And you say you had no hand in none of that? Not one occasion where there was a riot, maybe in a township, and you had to go and...
Because in fact, I was involved in what's called traffic enforcement. So my division was traffic enforcement.
Okay.
So traffic enforcement is like a traffic officer in the UK. You still have the powers of arrest. You can still carry a firearm, but your primary duty is around traffic flows and that sort of stuff. You can still. I can't investigate things and do that sort of thing. So I had limited abilities compared to the South African police, but I'm still an enforcement officer.
And was you an enforcement officer in a region that was mainly like townships, or was you in like a major city?
No, it wasn't townships. I won't say where specifically, but no, it wasn't townships.
All right, so it was a major city in South Africa.
Correct, but not in townships, no.
All right. So it would have been a much more, say, laid back type of job in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, well, compared to some of the places that one could have been in South Africa, yes, definitely. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, I've done with my questions. Nino, you want to say anything else?
Because he's not gonna answer it in a genuine. He's waffling on, and that's the truth, and that's the bottom line of the whole situation. To be honest.
So what a wonderfully
This is just
nonsensical
your
assessment.
This is just your assumption. I know.
It's not an assumption. I was told by somebody who was a police officer in South Africa, so that information is correct, very correct.
What have I just explained to you? Did you hear what I said, or did you mute
yeah.
yourself?
So it's not an assumption. It's not an assumption. It's based on facts.
Yeah, but you seem not to follow
Somebody
the
told you something
conversation.
that is based on facts. Is that how you operate?
Rob, don't get triggered,
Somebody
mate.
told you something, and that's based on fact. That's how you operate, is it? I want to
You
understand your
just
rationality.
confirmed it. You just
Do
confirmed
you
it.
actually have rationality? Do you believe everything everybody tells you?
Rob, you just confirmed that you was a police officer in South Africa. So what
I
you on
said I was
about?
a traffic enforcement officer. So what part of that? What
Waffling
part did I
on,
not
Rob.
answer? Nino, what part did I not answer?
Don't get triggered, Rob.
Dude, you couldn't trigger me on your best day. I'm
Don't
asking
get-
you, what part did
saw
I not answer?
I saw the debate you had with Yusuf, the brother Yusuf, on the speaker's corner, and I went about atheism, and when I mean he absolutely murked you, mate.
I don't know what you're talking about now. You're babbling. Try and speak slower and tell us you're jumping from one topic to another. What is it that I didn't answer?
There was a debate with you with Yusuf, the Muslim brother, and about atheism, and what I mean, he completely annihilate your argument in terms of what you were trying to tell him.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but maybe you'll elaborate.
People on the panel, go to Rob at Speaker's Corner against Brother Yusuf and watch the debate and tell me what you think.
Yeah. What's the point?
Who's Brother Yusuf?
What's
Which
the
Brother
point,
Yusuf?
Nino?
Yeah, he hasn't got a point, I don't think. All right, we'll move on.
Yeah. Okay, so shall I give some more definitions about what the meaning of God is?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Okay. So the first thing I read, I'm going to read it again. God, anything that is worshipped can be termed a God, inasmuch as the worshipper attributes to it much greater than his own and venerates it. A person can even let his belly be a god. The Bible makes mention of many gods, but it shows that the gods of the nation are various gods. The Hebrew terms. Among the Hebrew words that are translated God is El, probably meaning mighty one, strong one. So there's a definition, mighty one or strong one. Uh, it is used with reference to Jehovah, to other gods, and to man. It is also used extensively in the makeup of proper names, such as Elisha, meaning God is salvation, and Michael, which name means who is like God. I'm just gonna skip through it a little bit to get more definition. Um, the Hebrew word Elohim, God, appears to be from a root meaning be strong, and therefore root meaning. Can somebody mute the mics? Some more. Somebody else.
I think we've got the idea. What is it that where do you want to go with that then?
No, just giving some terms. I mean, the first question was how can God be the term? Are there any definitions of it? So I'm just giving different definitions. So if there's something you can go, you can do something about it. Like the true God is not omnipresent. We spoken as the supreme being, that he's a supreme being, a self-creating being. They have some definitions, probably you already heard of it, but just maybe to get back to the topic where we started or something, or you can start something new. I don't know, just trying to help.
Yeah, well, I think the original topic was about what is God, and originally what is the universe? Did the universe have a beginning, or was it eternal? And we didn't seem to get any proof one way or the other.
Yeah, I've actually discussed it with somebody, and he was actually in Kemet, but there seemed to be a lot of stuff that are not touchable, as well as for a theist or a atheist. So there's always be an assumption, even though not be proved. You have to go with the information that's there. Even be a theist, information from a theist, as well as from an atheist perspective, like scientists that do honest research and to do research about how credible they are. It's like, for example, the Bible says that like God created the heavens and the earth, and then He was like the beginning of all of Him. He created. It's like, and so He was first of all. He was eternal. That's like a difference of the beginning.
Yeah, but you're just asserting that he's eternal.
Yeah, but this is like the extraordinary claim. You're probably also eager to find out how it's credible or not, because the claim is that in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So He did something. Uh, that's not an assumption according to the biblical reference. You get my point, Rob?
No, not really.
What I'm
Peter, do you
trying to
want to
say
jump
is
in there as well?
sorry,
Yeah.
did I miss
According
something?
all this definitions is just saying, oh, they're powerful or whatsoever, but in any way it does describe something which is credible of creating our Earth. And since we don't know anything about it, or none of us can prove how this world began, so we don't have a proof that there was a creator at all.
But it's more like what we can touch. That's what we can go by. There's something untouchable. It stays in the middle because we still have to find out how much the claim is truth or how much it is false. So, and we still have to go by this extraordinary claim that God created first the heavens and earth. So,
yeah, we know, but that this particular claim is wrong, for example, because God created the heavens and the earth, and then He created at some point the sun and then the stars. Even this claim is wrong because we know the stars were first there, that the sun is a star, and the earth came much more later than all the other stars we see.
that I could say that would be your claim as well. I'll go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. Nino, you want to say something?
Yeah, Theo, are you saying, Theo, that you have to see God to believe that God exists? Is that what you're saying?
Of course, no. There should be evidence for Him, and there is no evidence. And everything what we discover does not point towards a God. It always points to a naturalistical explanations.
Okay, Pio, my next question to you is uh, how do you consider spirituality, for example?
Yeah, you have to define this term too, because this is a bright stuff. Many people have a different definition what is spirituality. And some point we can all say, oh, there is no spirituality. This is the same. It's like you change the term of God into, oh, I'm not a believer, I'm spiritual. So it's the same stuff.
So you don't believe in spirituality then?
What do you mean by that? You have to explain to me a little bit more.
Well, we have to look together what the definition of spirituality is. But it's according to you, because a spirituality.
Yeah, according to me, it does not exist. Okay. That's my definition.
Okay, fair enough.
I think that's the big problem with spirituality, is nobody can seem to define it in any way that people agree upon.
Well, I just wanted to ask, for example, Kalam or Maku,
Yeah.
because they are chemists and they do actually have they call themselves most of the time spiritual person,
Right.
and they believe in spirituality. So then I want to know their definition
Right.
about spirituality.
So yeah, I mean, this is the problem, my brother. You get what I'm saying? When you're into science and science only, you get what I'm saying? You're not gonna have no spirituality or no soulfulness or anything like that. Do you get what I'm saying? This is all about just a rigid program of data, and if the data is real and blah blah blah. Do you get what I'm saying? Your actual own personal thoughts and feelings cannot be put into the information. So it's like robot business.
Yeah.
And you can see that science itself constantly makes mistakes. You know what I'm saying? They constantly have to keep readdressing what they thought before. That's why the words theories, supposition, it's all guesswork. It all means we don't know.
No, Macros, it's not all guesswork.
So,
come on.
Well, the word supposition, what means what?
Who used the word supposition? You mean presupposition? No,
Okay, they say supposition, presupposition
science is making
means
hypothesis.
what? Means you don't know. Hypothesis means you don't know. Theory means you don't know.
No, Maku. It means we're putting this thing out and we're going to go and find out to see whether it's true or not. We're not just guessing.
You are guessing. You are guessing. And a lot of the times you're doing experiments to prove your guesses and still getting it wrong.
To confirm or falsify, Maku. To confirm or falsify, not just to confirm.
All right. Look, not too long ago, it was string theory. Yeah? The universe is a big ass piano or guitar.
Come on, Maku.
For one man.
Try and be serious.
And on the other hand, I watched another documentary by the same individual, same scientist, showing me a massive, what was it, hot dog, to describe how the universe came into existence. They went as far as to do CGI on a speculative hot dog. Can you imagine? So I can't really take science 100% seriously. There has to be an element of logic to this. Do you get what I'm saying? So
no, Mecca, there's no magic involved in
spirituality. Anyway, spirituality is based on the spirit. So if we can agree that the spirit exists and what the spirit is, because some of us assume the spirit to run alongside with the body.
Well,
so without the spirit, you can't actually, like, do what you're doing, move around.
Prove a spirit exists, Maku.
Hold on, Rob. Oh, Rob, hold on a minute. Rob, you just said you asked Maku to prove it, yeah? Prove to me your mind exists. Show me your mind.
Or even your soul.
Yeah, Rob, can you show me your mind so I can prove your mind exists?
Right. So
we can. It's like we don't say there's a soul. Again, we will say it's just the ability of our brain, and we can prove it. Like if we take out parts of your brain, we can totally remove your personality or your creative thinking or your ability to love or whatsoever. That's why everything comes to your brain abilities. That's why we don't believe in soul, because this is not proven, but the things that we do, love, buy, need food, it's everything in our brain, and we can remove the stuff from our brain. That's why how we prove it. And also the mind or ability to think, we can totally destroy it by just destroying our brain.
So if you, like you do every day, take a toothbrush and brush your teeth, what's running there? Is it just those electrical impulses in the brain?
No, we know that brushing our teeth.
What's telling you to have a thought to tell your brain will tell, no. Which way does it go? do you have the thought first? Do you get what I'm saying? And then the electrical responses.
The thing is, I could not brush my teeth at all if I don't want to. But I do it because I know that it benefits my teeth and I will have them longer.
But that's not what I was referring to. I was referring to just the whole action of brushing your teeth or getting up in the morning or your eyelids flicking opening and closed is what I'm saying is the spirit. All these actions, all of it working in unison.
Okay.
Hold on, because remember that I referred to God as energy. And we know that our bodies run on energy and electricity. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Yes.
Right,
you know that we have different parts of a brain. One of power.
So I can understand you not understanding about the soul, because not all of us have souls, but all of us have spirits, because we would not be able to move or function or do what we do without a spirit. So to study that, is what we're calling spirituality.
We have part of brain which is called the vegetative nerve system. So like if you close and open your eyes, you of course don't think about it. Yeah, because it's running up in our vegetative nerve system and it's a part of our brain. It's a smaller brain. We have big brains. We have 3 parts of it. So this is how it's running there. Of course, you don't think about it. You don't think about how to breathe. But it does not mean there is a spirit. No, it's still a function of our brain.
Yo, who's blocked Gabs? Yeah, someone blocked him because he can't get on the panel. Who's the person who's blocked Gabs?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
He should be able to see, though, when he tries to get on the panel, he should see who's blocked him.
Someone has blocked him, it says, probably.
No one from here. Who's this dog? Dogu something. He just came in.
I'm sorry, I have to go anyway. But thank you for a nice discussion. Okay. Have fun. I love you. Love to you all. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
Okay, so
right now, see if you get on now. We'll know if it was him or not.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't Pio that blocked him.
No, I don't know.
I think it maybe probably this last guy who he is. He's not saying anything.
Get him in here.
Gabs, I've made you.
Yes, what's up?
Gabs, I've made you moderator, so hopefully that might get you in. I'm not too sure if it will. All right. So yeah. Sorry, I've just come back in.
Kalam, we were talking about, or Mecca was asking, or talking about the spirit or the soul, spirit, I think it was, and we were asking him to demonstrate that there is such a thing. And then I think he was having sort of a little bit of a back and forth with Pio, who's now left us. So that's where we're at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I like it. We're skipping, we're jumping. Let me quickly see. We've got Degoya. Talk to me. I know you've been trying to get in for a long time. Make sure you have your say. Degoya, if you're there, let me know. And where is something like Saved by Grace as well? Like, where is Saved by Grace? I really wanted to hear what he has to say.
Yeah, it just seemed to have disappeared.
Oh man, Alchemia says World Media.
This guy, that doggery guy just came in.
But yeah, Saved by Grace is actually here. Saved by Grace. Saved by Grace. Are you able to unmute your mic and talk to us? You can talk about whatever you like. Nope. All right. Never mind. Oh, sugar. We've got Abdullah. Abdullah just signed in, you know. Salute to man like Abdullah, known as Carnane.
Yeah.
Big up, Carnane.
Yeah, big up.
Salam.
Peace, fam.
Man set up his
What's going on, man? What's going on?
He's
Good, good.
calligraphy. Let people know what he's representing right now.
He's gone full blown now on the Hangouts, man.
Yeah, Kalam, don't start with me, bro. Don't start with me.
Becoming a superstar regular.
What?
Real
What's up? What going on? What's going on?
Well, we're just talking about spirituality.
Yeah. And now some people don't have a soul. Some people, but they were. It was PO, but he's left now. We was talking about the spirit and soul. But someone else asked the question though.
I was asking the question.
You want to ask the question, yes, bro.
Yeah, for that.
So everyone can, yeah.
Yeah. So the question I asked was, we have a viewpoint from an atheist perspective, and I was asking how they would view spirituality, and this is how this conversation started up. And maybe you can give your views. We asked Kalam to give his view about spirituality, how they explain it. It's also for Rob to understand, to have a good definition of spirituality. So there you go.
I can't speak from their side because I'm always asking the definition of when they say spirituality, because I know people have different you know what I mean, regarding different take on when they say spirituality. So I have to ask. I don't know, depends who bring that up, if it's an atheist or some spiritual. I have to ask them what they mean, you know what I mean, to get there. But I know that we all got spirit inside of us anyway. I mean, I'm going from the Islamic narrative. Allah says when the child reaches certain stage, he command the angel to come and decree 4 things. And after breathing the spirit, the created spirit inside a human being. So we all got spiritual, and that sense. I mean, we should have a spiritual side in it. And like Marcus says, some people don't got no soul. But I mean, we all got soul, but maybe he meant that some sell their soul and some so far gone, like the way they oppress the soul. Like in the Quran, it says the biggest oppression of the soul is when a person associate the created things with the creator. They're giving the gratitude for being created and being existence to someone who did not give them the existence. So the gratitude for the kindness is not collaborating. It's out of place. So that's the biggest oppression. Not war, not these things. These are wrong. Certain illegal war and killing people, innocent people. Yes, wrong. But the biggest oppression of one's own soul is when one worship other than the true creator.
What is the soul? How do we know we've got a soul? What is the soul?
What is the soul? I can, like I said, from the Quran, Allah says they ask about the soul, just like what you're asking now. They came to the Prophet and asked him. This was one of the tests from the Jewish community to find if he's a true prophet. And it was replying the Quran that they asked about the soul. To say to them, after soul, knowledge was given to you only a little. Was just given to you only a little.
Okay. Well, hold on 1 second, family. Yo, Gabs, do me a favor, King. This is what you need to do. Go. I know you got a second account somewhere, right? You must have a second account. I need you up in here because I don't know what to do. I've got into my own thing. I'll see if any of my moderators might have blocked you. Nothing like that. So, try to open it up with another account. Because I miss you, G. I miss you. No homes, but I do miss you. All right, continue, family. Sorry, continue.
I was asking, what is a soul? How do we know what a soul is?
So far,
I said to you from the creator of the soul himself says that they ask about the soul, like what the brother is doing right now. He says about the soul, knowledge is given to you only just a little of the soul.
Now that doesn't tell me anything, though. That's absolutely meaningless. How does that help me understand what a soul is?
What is soul? But if you ain't got soul in you, you won't have life. You won't have life inside you, brother. You'll be a dead being. You wouldn't be a living being.
Yeah, I've got a heart and a brain and some consciousness. What extra is there? Where does the soul come in? Where does the soul add to this? And how can we demonstrate that?
What about a person with a life support machine? He's got a heart and a soul. He's got a heart and a brain and all that, but is he experiencing anything?
Who?
A person on a life support machine.
Well, it depends at what level he's at, right?
Yeah, but just think of one that would go with the analogy of what I'm trying to say. You said that I've got a heart and a brain, and I just thought, oh, okay, what about a dude who's got a heart and a brain? They're all working, functioning correctly, but he's gone. He's not with us. What's going on with him?
Well, what do you mean he's not with us? Is he dead, or is he like in a vegetable state?
Well,
What
once
do you mean?
some would say that he is. What did you describe it as, Kwame? A dead what did you say? A dead embodiment.
You can look at it as the unseen, which is because I cannot see what is inside of a human being, really and truly, innit? So you call it the unseen mood or feeling of sadness or upliftment.
Oh.
You understand?
What does
The
that even
unseen
mean?
mood where do you get depressed? Is it possible for you to get depressed?
Yes, it's an emotional response. Yeah.
So I'm asking you, that side of you that get depressed, that the inside of you, the way you feel that depression, is it tangible? What side of you get depressed? That is it something that you can say, you can take a picture of it and show to someone? This area is what detect that depression.
At the moment, science hasn't developed to a level where we can take a picture of it and sort of weigh it and assess it, like the volume of it, etc. But go on, what's the point?
Yeah, but we know that there's something inside of us which is unseen to other that can detect the depression. That's why we experience it. We know.
Some
so
would
by
say
knowledge,
some would say that actually earlier on when we said one sec.
Can you hear my voice now?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, some would say that earlier on when we described not being able to measure it, some would say that depression is a chemical imbalance. So actually, maybe it is measurable.
I'm not talking about the actual afflicting which is the depression. I'm talking about that which detect.
Yeah.
I'm talking about that which detect the depression. You understand? That which detect the depression.
Yeah, it's not like
Yes,
there's
these
no
are
like
receptors
scanner.
that
You can't scan it and detect it. Yeah.
Jump in real quickly. Can we say that?
But the fact that we
Can we say that? And let me know if this definition suits you guys. Right? Is soul that which we call consciousness?
Possible, yes.
I don't know.
Possible. No.
Kalam, it can be part of it as well. It's possible.
It could be part of
consciousness, feeling, moods. It can be multiple unseen things. That together embody the soul. First, finally, is that receptor that make you can feel something uplifting, or you can feel depressed.
If I'm right in thinking this, because when you start coming out with something, I start thinking something. Okay, yeah. But is it something to do with the spirit is breath and the soul is consciousness?
The spirit is breath and the soul is consciousness.
Is there somewhere in those teachings there?
Nah, that's more to do with Semitic. That's more to do with that's more to do with Abrahamics.
Okay, all right, cool.
It's just paraphrasing, bro. It's just some people might say it's energy inside of you, because the energy can be negative, it can be positive as well. It's just paraphrasing, bro. Believe me.
So could we say that then the soul is the psyche in the human being?
I'm saying I don't know.
Yes, Kalam, that's psyche. It's actually a translation from Hebrew.
Okay. Rob, what say you?
I'm still trying to work out how do we demonstrate a soul and what is it? Because at the moment, it might be part of consciousness, it might be our emotions, it might be any old thing, but all of these things we have established. So I'm not sure what the soul adds to the conversation. It's just a label that nobody can seem to demonstrate or define properly.
Yeah, you made me just think of something there. Yeah, in ancient teachings. Yeah, does anyone know this? Yeah, is a soul considered like an iris or a thumbprint, i.e., unique to each individual? Is that what the ancient teachings tell us in all traditions, or is souls are there identical souls and stuff like that? Because then I'm going to go on to my next point. Can someone just clarify that before I go off into my next thing?
Before you do that, right? You know what? Okay, so who brought up the concept of soul first of all?
I don't know.
Because
I brought the concept of spirit, but it turned out to be that people added some soul. I think it was
No, that's what Maku said earlier on. I know some man everyone's got a spirit, but not all of you got a soul. And then Kwame came in and commented on that. And then Rob asked the question, what is a soul?
What is a soul?
Okay. Because what would be great, right, is those who propose a soul come with a working definition that everybody can get around.
I can give a definition right now. Okay. Is that
go
good?
for it. Go for it.
Okay. So, soul is the traditional the traditional rendering of the Hebrew word nephesh and the Greek psyche. It's accurate. In examining the way these terms are used in the Bible, it becomes evident that they basically refer to people, animals, or to the life that a person or animal has.
Could you share your screen? Could you share your screen at all?
Share my screen? Yeah. Wait a second.
By the way, earlier on I said the iris is unique. I think it's the pupil that's unique.
And family, like over 170 of you guys tuned in, and only 70 of you guys are hitting the like button. But then again, there's 17 of you guys who are hitting the dislike button. So, it's all right. I don't want to show no love. I just feel deflated, dejected, depressed.
Oh man, they got to show you some love there, Kalam.
Let's get it. Okay, so Kalam, are you able to share your screen at all?
Yeah, I'm trying, but it's not opening.
All right, I'm gonna have to mute your mics, family. Let me mute guys' mics. If you're not speaking, just keep your mic on mute.
I'm trying to open it, but just give me a second. I'm sorry, it's not working to me. I don't know why, but somebody can jump in for the moment.
I think maybe we can move on, Kalam. It doesn't look like anybody can give a definition or any sort of demonstration of a soul. It's just all sort of very airy-fairy talk around this.
Uh-oh. Boy, you know what we say? If you can't provide your evidence, clearly you're not truthful. So let's move on to something else. You guys open up your mics, man, and start speaking, because we've gone over the 2-hour mark already, right? That's usually when it's time to wind it down. So I want you guys to pull it back from the brink, right? Can you guys do that?
I don't know why I cannot share my screen, man. What's happening? Okay, so Rob, what could you follow anything what I just said, or you still think it was not credible enough?
Okay.
No, I didn't hear it that clearly, but it didn't seem like anything concrete, really.
Kelly, can you do me a favor? Can you tell me where are you looking for your definition, and I can share it on my own screen?
Also, you gotta ask yourself the question, yeah. Well, Rob's got to tell us what he would consider concrete evidence, because when you're talking about things where we're trying to quantify things that are intangible, and we're trying to philosophize, and we're trying to look at ancient knowledge here, there, across the world, corroborate different bits of evidence, data. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you start saying, bring me something concrete, I don't think you understand. You're in the wrong conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Well, when you claim that there's a soul, presumably that's something that exists in reality that's separate from the body, the mind, etc. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, so that separate thing that exists in reality, how do we find out about it?
Good question. So I was going to say to you, you know, like if we were standing here together, like say we were standing in a location, yeah, in London somewhere, and it was just me and you, and I was saying to you, listen, I guarantee you there's radio waves streaming through us right now, yeah? Unless we had a radio to turn on and detect it, yes, there's tons of radio waves going through us right now. None of us would be able to quantify that, but it wouldn't make it untrue, would it?
Yeah, but
So,
we've got methodology to detect radio waves. What methodology have we got to detect the soul?
listen to what I'm saying to you, yeah? Unless we had a piece of equipment, yes, that we could turn on and hear something being broadcasted over these radio waves, we would not be able to detect them. But it wouldn't mean that it didn't exist. Now, do you understand what the picture I'm trying to paint for you? We're not in an argument here. I'm only painting this picture for you so you can understand what I'm trying to say.
Yes, I understand what you're saying.
Okay,
You're
good.
saying if we don't have the correct receiver, we don't know, we can't detect this.
We wouldn't be able to
thing.
detect them, but it wouldn't mean that they're not there, yeah? So let's just zoom forward now a little bit. There's a ton of things going on. For example, the light spectrum, that's widened over time, hasn't it? You know, the spectrum of, you know, rays.
You mean, yes.
That's got
Yes.
wider over time. As we've got more and more developed in technology, we've realized, oh, we can detect different waves like gamma rays and stuff like this, and massive waves and all sorts, yeah? So the spectrums have become wider, yeah, that we used to operate on. So similarly, yeah, just by using that logic, we would be dumb to sit here and think that we have ascertained all knowledge and all possibilities of what's happening just with simply the things that we've worked out or the technology that we've got to detect these.
But Omar, who's claiming that we've worked out all things?
Kalam, can you hear me?
No, I'm not saying you're claiming that. Yeah.
Well, who is?
And I'm not
Is
even
there
claiming
anybody
a
on earth
soul
that
at
is
this point.
claiming that?
No, but I'm just saying there's two ideologies that are coming together here. Yeah. If you start coming in this, if anyone comes in this chat, yeah, and says present concrete evidence that such as that I can actually tangibly touch it or I could quantify it, you're in the wrong place. Yeah, when we're talking about souls, heavens, and spiritual nature, stuff like that, we have to look at ancient knowledge and we have to look at, you know, experiences and stuff like that. Do you get it?
Kalam, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay.
All right. Before I get you to come on, let me just quickly read out some of these messages. Afro Man says, if we have a soul after we die, does that mean we remember the things we did without a brain? And if so, why do we need a brain? All right. Another one here from my brother. I can't even say all the things that you've got over here. Titles. It says here, is a soul an emergence of all that a human being consists of, such as consciousness, a mind, emotions, thoughts, etc.
Someone said in the chat, Case, not to cut you, someone said in the chat, let me go up to it now. His name was he said someone asked basically, is a soul is dark energy? And he makes a great point. Dark matter. And he makes a great point that this universe is comprised of matter, and dark energy. Now we know dark energy and dark matter is there, but we can't quantify them. We can only see the effects of them. So we can then we can kind of establish, you know, in terms of this universe, how percentage wise, what is comprised of matter, like the actual stuff that is actually in this universe, crazy as it seems, yeah, that's actually tangible, is a very, very tiny amount of this universe. All the stars.
Yeah, Omar, how did they come to that conclusion?
Because they see the effects and there's loads of different things. It was Einstein.
Yeah, they measured,
it was
they
bending
weighed
light.
galaxies,
They were seeing light. They were seeing light bend around rather than traveling the straight line.
But that's something different. But they weighed galaxies, and they found that the mass of the galaxy, there wasn't enough mass in the visible spectrum for the mass that they were detecting. So they were using the scientific method to understand that. And what they found out, as you quite rightly pointed out, is that the universe weighs a lot more than the visible matter that's out there. And so the label dark matter is a label to say, hey, there's something out there that we can't detect, that's more than we can see, that we can detect with any of our instruments, because the universe weighs a lot more than or we're coming up with calculations that show the universe weighs a lot more than it should, from all the visible matter that we can see. So they were using science. Now, if we use that analogy with the soul, how could we come up with something to say that there is a soul?
Now, remember, yeah, as you quite rightly said, they used the scientific method. They didn't, hold up, yeah? They didn't actually go out and actually do any tangible tests. They realized through calculations and stuff, yeah? And then I think quite rightly, but they would superimpose certain things. This is just.
No, but they did observations, Omar. They did observations, and they've
bro,
got these
even
lovely
if the
graphs.
observations, you can't tangibly weigh a universe. You know what I'm saying? So you have to. Yeah.
No, I agree. You can't weigh a universe per se, but
But when you
can
jump
estimate
forward,
it.
you say they use the scientific method. Yeah, you've got to remember, because I know what you're talking about. And you know what you're talking about. But with that same thing, you asked me now. You posed a good question of, yeah, is that can you use the scientific method to quantify a soul?
I said, how can we find out about the soul? What methodology can we use to find out if a soul exists, and if so, what it is?
Good question, man. And definitely, and another good question would be, have they tried to, and what have they detected? And then can we look at that and then look at some other data from like ancient writings from different parts of the globe, people that didn't have contact with each other?
How would ancient writings help us?
Because, you know, like we have to look, because you would look at, remember, yeah, people, yeah, nowadays, yeah, we're experts at some things, yeah, but we're not. I wouldn't think that. I would say that it would be dumb, yeah, not to look at when we're talking about metaphysics and stuff of supernatural nature, like souls and stuff like that. Yeah, when I say supernatural, I don't mean they don't exist. I mean like we're in different realms now talking about this. Yeah, I would say it would be dumb not to look at all the data that's ever been collected on these subjects. Don't you agree?
Yeah, but what is the data? That's what I'm asking you for. And if you
People
say
that have
we're looking
written
back at ancient people, how's that data?
People that have written, people that have written extensively, yeah, on this subject of soul, so-called experts, all the evidence we have.
Well, that's what I'm asking. What is the evidence? Somebody can write something in a book. That's not evidence. What I want is
everything that we have is written out of a book and is evidence. Everything you've got is written out of books that is evidence, and then there's testing as well. But listen, let's not go down that road. I'm saying this, yeah. So I'm not trying to shy away from the question, yeah. I'm saying, yeah, let's use all yeah of the scientific instruments and progressive information that we have here on the subject, and let's also look at all of the other literature that is gathered on this subject. And I'm interested in going further and further back, as far back as we can. I'm more interested in that. And let's just have a look at it.
Well,
It'll
I
help
asked
us.
you, how would that help us? If you can say, hey, Rob, the reason we can look back at the ancients is because this and this reason, and I think those reasons would help us today.
I told you at a bare minimum, yes, without divulging too much, at a bare minimum, would you not say it's clever, yeah, and not dumb, yeah, of us to gather all the information that we have on this subject? Since we've gone down this road, we're obviously going to be funded, yeah.
Sorry.
Did you hear what I said, Rob?
Yes.
Can I start to the brother
I
point?
said, hold on, wait. So what I'm saying to you is, at a very minimum, yeah, yes, we would be silly not to gather all the information, yeah, that has been written on this subject at a bare minimum. Now, do you accept that?
I think we've got to weed out the information. I don't think we just take all information, because much of this quote unquote information is just myths and fairy tales. So we've got to weed out what is meaningful and what isn't.
Okay, well, we'll come to that process, yeah, afterwards, but let's gather all the information first. It's not just me and you doing it. If we were going to get like you now you've asked a question, yeah, how we scientifically, or how we use the scientific method to establish a soul, yeah, or to identify a soul, yeah, whoever has been set that task needs to be funded. It can't just be a couple of guys in a hangout, otherwise we're just chatting shit, yeah. If we're gonna use site like we're gonna go Ghostbusters on it, yeah, and you're gonna be Igor and I'm gonna be Peter Vateman, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna need a budget.
Brother, Rob, let me just add to something you asked and what the brother says. You asking from a side where I don't know if you believe in God and from a scientific side. But then the question is, okay, then based on science, there's no, the word science would not exist periodly without human perception. Without human projective perception, there's no science periodly. So basically, everything is scientific then. Because your information that you as the brother said, your information is of science, you read it in books also. And those people, for writing those things, their perception play a great role before they produce those books. If they don't have no sense, how can they produce those books? No, regarding this, so I'm coming from my empirical, because when we say religion, I mean Rob maybe get triggered, but when the Quran says about soul, those human scientists have no more qualification than the Quran is speaking about soul. The Quran says soul exists. I mean, the Quran exists, we can touch it, we can look at, that's an empirical junction, that's observation point.
We don't just accept things. I'm not sure what your name is, my friend. We don't just accept things because the Quran says so. We have to go and look out there to see whether, in fact, what the Quran says is verified in some way external from the Quran. The Quran is a book of claims. It's not evidence of anything. So when it makes a claim, we need to go and find out if, in fact, the claim is true. Do you agree?
No, I'm saying if the Quran proves itself first and foremost, before we get there, we go first, or the Quran proves itself is from the Creator. Then I'm saying that's a more qualified source than a human being.
And what is the name of the Creator?
No, listen. For a human being, for a human being who have limited, who confess that the scientists confess that we only can study the first part of the heaven, of the first heavens. They confess these things that Allah says 7th century. That knowledge has been given to human being only a little, and then the astronomer come and telling me now that they only can study just a little bit of the first heavens. They're saying the same thing what the Quran is saying. So why would you give precedence to those human beings with limited knowledge when they tell you in a book about quantum physics, things that you cannot see? And I'm not disagreeing with you.
Brother, don't go down that route. They haven't.
No, listen. Let me finish.
Please,
let me finish. No, I feel like let me finish, please. It's
there is the confusion.
Let me finish. So we believe in trace evidences. You believe scientists. I agree. Scientific establishment.
That's the confusion.
Sorry.
To calling Allah as a creator, that's a confusion.
Yeah, because the content of the Quran proves that He is the creator. The content of the Quran proves that the author.
Who said that Allah is creator? Who said that?
I'm saying, brother, listen. Can you listen? The Quran exists, so that's an empirical junction. Are you stay with me on this point? Can you stay? Answer my question as I go along. The Quran exists. Is that empirical junction?
Who said that Allah is creator? Who said that?
I'm gonna prove it to you from the content of the Quran.
But who said
Anyone
that?
who have sense and read the Quran.
Who said that?
I don't want to just say. I want to give you proof, brother. I want to give you proof. You want the proof? Do you want the proof?
Proof of the Muhammad who went to the cave of Hira and claimed that he met a spirit and being so-called and it was a Gabriel. It was not a Gabriel. So to understand, please think good with your mind. No. Let's speak about this. If you want, let's speak about this.
No, let me say something. Now, listen. You want to go on a rant? No, listen, man. You're getting cold feet.
Let's speak about Allah.
Please, Rob. I'm a man. Listen, man. Do not behave to me like my wife. You're getting cold feet emotionally. Please.
Sorry.
I said to you something very simple a while ago. I said I'm gonna give you proof that the Quran exists. If it exists, then that's an empirical junction. We can go to those museums and touch the Quran. We can look at
Who brought the
That's
Quran?
an observation
Muhammad?
point.
Who brought the Muhammad? Quran? Muhammad?
Rob, you scared to go on the journey with me? Why are you scared to go on the journey?
Let's go back to the root of Islam. Let's go to the back root of Islam.
Is the Quran at the root? Is the Quran at the root?
No.
You want to go to the Quran?
Who brought the Quran?
Are you listening? You please stop ranting and listen. Are you listening? Can you listen what I'm gonna say? 1 minute. Listen what I have to say, please. Can you listen?
Yes, I listen. But let's talk about
Yes. So,
about
you're
Islam and
talking. You're not
Quran.
listening, brother. Brother, you're
Saved
not listening.
Saved
You're not
by
listening. You're talking.
Abdul. Let me ask him.
Yeah?
Saved by the what religion are you?
I'm
I'm a
operate.
Muslim. Islam is the
Who, me
religion.
or
Islam
who?
is my religion.
I'm asking.
Listen, brother.
Me?
Yeah, what religion are you?
I believing in Christ is not a following a religion. That's the difference. If you want a religion, Islam is a religion.
So,
Buddha is a religion.
Rob,
Krishna is a
can you say,
religion.
Callum,
But believing in Christ, that's not a
Rob,
religion.
man, we were talking about spirituality and that
Islam
earlier
is
on.
not a
Nice.
religion. Islam is not a religion. Islam is a way of life. Please, please.
No, Rob, can I answer? Can I say something?
Saved by the do you believe that your faith is the correct way of life?
Yes, because I was before in the way as the person who was talking and tried to present Allah as the creator. But I want to tell that
I'm not trying
Allah
to
is
present.
not the creator. Allah is a
Okay, no
pagan
problem,
idol.
bro. No problem. No problem. Just say God, bro. Just say God.
Rob, I'm not trying to
Right now,
present.
No. We have to make a distinction, you know?
Okay,
If it says just a God, that's a confusion.
No,
Rob,
no problem, bro. Because I get it. Because if you said Jesus was the creator, I would be offended. Not offended, but I
Can I
would
say one thing?
umbrage upon that as well. Yeah. So,
brother,
because yesterday was a topic that I would like
bro,
to
don't get
talk
triggered,
about this.
man. Don't get triggered.
Rob, you're getting emotional. You're making an emotional rant. This is a woman business you're dealing with.
relax.
Don't do that, man.
You've
To no
said
man
it
at the
now.
panel,
You've
but
said it, and
don't
you've
do
stood
this.
up
It's
for
very
yourself.
emotional.
I am
You're
not a
Christian
woman.
knows the distinction now between both and good, and you're right to say that you object to that thesis.
No.
Atheists would object as well. But go ahead, Kwame. Just let's stay on subject.
Say one thing, no.
Yeah, but stay
I'm
on
on
subject, innit? Because I hate when these things go so far left. We're on one topic right
Can
now.
I speak, brother?
Yeah, go ahead.
Please, let me say something. I make a claim. If I make a claim that Allah is the creator, the burden of proof should be on me. That's the principle that I know. Am I wrong?
Who said that the Allah is creator? Muhammad?
Yes. So I make a claim boldly. I'm not hiding. I'm brave with that claim.
But let's talk about him.
Rob, let me prove my claim. At least let me prove my claim, brother.
Okay,
let me prove my claim.
Go on.
So you should be quiet. Let me prove my claim. So I claim Allah is the creator of the heavens and the earth, very boldly and confidently. Yeah. So I said to you, you want me to give you the proof that He's the creator of the heavens and the earth.
Who
and you
said
get cold
that,
feet and start to rant.
Who said
You
Allah
want
is
the proof?
creator? Who said that Allah is creator?
I say so.
You.
So let me prove
You
it.
said that.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
if you
yes,
say
yes.
Allah is creator, that Allah must be creator?
No. I expect if you're sensible, if you're sensible, you'll have access proof, man.
No.
That's how we work. If you're sensible, you'd have said, give me your proof. That's how we work.
Who said that Allah is creator? Muhammad, yes?
Let me repeat again. I think you're deaf. I said
no, I'm
so.
not deaf.
Allah
I
is
am
the
hearing
creator.
good.
Yes. So I say Allah is the creator of the heavens and earth. Do you want the proof for it to back it up?
You said that Allah is creator. It's Muhammad brought Allah's creator. But Allah is a pagan idol.
This guy. Why are you scared of my proof? Why are you scared of proof?
Bring your proof.
Can I interject? We're not getting along.
Thank you. Let's start now.
Bring your proof.
Can we start now? He said, bring the proof.
Finally.
So okay. So you're gonna quote and hear my proof now. Listen. Okay. Has been preserved. We have 5. This is the proof. Listen. Don't interrupt me when I'm giving the proof. We have 5 manuscripts in 5 museums across the world. You can go them. You can touch those Quran in Arabic. You can look at them. So that's an empirical junction. That's an observation point. We're gonna do science now. You can touch them. You can look at them. Those Quran is not just a cover with no information inside. You have over 6,600 over 6,600 verses in the Quran, 114 chapters. You got formulated sentence in the Quran saying something. Let me give you a quick example. The Quran give you a clear sentence says, do not say one word of disrespect to your parents. Everyone understand that. That's a formulated sentence. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, did exist. That's an empirical junction number 2. Carbon dating prove that he did exist. You cannot deny that he did exist. We have his grave in Medina, where he was buried. Universe exists. Empirical junction number 3. And for those, maybe use an atheist for not thinking, but for those who thinking, who believe in a creator of the universe and believe the empirical junction that's so because the universe exists. That did us day. Because the universe could not give existence to itself. Now nothing could give existence to the universe, which is something. So common sense tell us, like Aristotle says, when we see design, it should tell us that there's a designer. So empirical junction number 4 is that there's a cause for the universe. There's a causa there. Empirical junction number 4. All these empirical junction has been used up in one sentence by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. He says, this Quran, which is the preserve I said to you, the empirical junction, has been given to me from the creator of the heavens and the earth, all that exists, the cosmos, so to say. No, I'm not asking you to accept that blindly or to reject it, to be true blindly. You have to do fairness. Look in the context. If the Quran is from the creator of the heavens and the earth, then logically you and I will agree that every maker, every creator of the about their product. When you look inside the content of the Quran, in Quran reveals 7th century to a man who cannot read and write, where you don't have a basic microscope, you don't have many things that we discover in the 20th and 21st century. When we look and we see these things in the Quran 7th century, the question is, who
You
could
will
have
talk
given this
long.
unlettered?
I want to say also something,
No,
but you are just talking.
No, I said, let me give you the proof. Who could have given this unlettered man these factual, this well-known discovered by scientists later on 21st century, certified factual information about the universe that no human could have known with a human capability without certain scientific equipment. Like, for example, quick example, the lowest part of the land above sea level, 7th century, maybe land above sea level. This thing only discovered later on because of archaeologists have equipment to measure the damn earth, man. Prophet Muhammad didn't have those equipment. Let's be fair.
What's the chapter and verse?
You're finished?
Let's be fair.
You finished?
Hold up, bro.
The verse. Yeah. You want the verse? Let me give you the verse. The verse. I have to check the. Because I have to go to a different page now. But I can give you the wording, and if you just quickly. Any brother just quickly put in Google. Yeah.
I'll check it.
It talk about the battle between the Byzantine and the Persian, and it says that the Byzantine has been defeated in the lowest part of the land.
Okay.
Yes, that's what the verse. I think it's Surah Al-Fatah. I don't remember the exact number. Surah Fatah. I don't remember the exact number. Surah Arum, talking about the Roman and that battle between the Persian and the Roman. The Roman has been defeated in the lowest part of the land.
Okay.
You finished?
Yes, so I'm just giving. That's one example I give. Now let's talk about the embryo now. What the Quran talk about the embryo, brother.
Can you please stop? Can you please stop? Let me talk too. Okay. You just.
I'm giving you the proof.
Just
I'm
stop, please.
giving you the proof.
Just 5 minutes. Stop. I want to say something too. Okay. Is that good?
Okay. You want to contest the proof? Okay.
Okay.
I didn't finish give you the proof, bro.
What I'm saying, that's not just for you, but all the Islamic world. If a man is sick, yeah, if he go to the doctor, yeah, and say I am sick, and doctor will send them to hospital. Sorry, English is not my first language. I am limited, but I'm gonna try to speak about what I want to tell. So the person go to the hospital, and he give his blood. Can the doctor see with his eyes what is in the blood? No. What he have to do, he have to put under the microscope to search the blood, and through the microscope, he will see which disease is in the blood. He can see there is a cancer, he can see there is a tumor, he can see this disease, that disease. So if Muhammad comes, say, I am a prophet, I am this, I am that, we cannot follow him blindly. We have to put him under the microscope, like the doctor put.
That's
the
why I'm
blood.
giving you the proof.
Please don't interrupt me. Let me speak.
That's why I'm giving you the proof, but you cut the proof. You interrupt the proof.
Sir, just patient. Listen, please. Yeah,
but
talk.
It cannot be.
Listen.
You're being unfair, brother.
Listen.
I'm in the middle of giving you the proof.
Listen,
but I'm in the middle of giving you the proof.
Listen, please. Listen, please. Give me a couple of minutes. I want to tell you, just not for you, but I want to tell the whole Islamic world. Yes? We have to put, when Muhammad
I didn't finish my point.
Look, let me 3 minutes talk, please. 3 minutes. We have to put
But you interrupted
Muhammad
me, brother. I thought I was
under
gonna
the
get to my point.
microscope to see his deeds, his saying, his sunnahs, his action, and to see what he say is true or not. Christ says that the tree you know by the fruits. We have to look which fruit Muhammad brought. Muhammad, the Quran claims that Muhammad is the example for the mankind. The Quran claims that Muhammad is the mercy for the mankind. But I want to ask you, if is that if he is look, one moment.
You interrupted me, brother.
If
You interrupted.
Muhammad's marriage with 50-year-old man marrying with 6-year-old child Aisha and making sex with her when Aisha was 9-year-old, Muhammad was 53-year-old and making sex with the 9-year-old child. I want to ask
Excuse
you,
me,
Islam
excuse
holds,
me, excuse
is that
me.
the
Don't
example for the
don't start
humankind?
bringing in
That's his
rubbish
action.
hadith. Don't bring your rubbish hadith.
No, please,
I
brother,
follow
brother,
Quran. No.
I'm gonna give
No.
you. Do you want
I
the
follow
reference? I'm
Quran.
gonna give you reference. Do you want
Simple as that. I
reference?
don't follow hadith, Bridget.
No,
Simple.
please, no, brother, please,
Reference? I'm gonna give you
No, can I say
reference.
something? Rob, can you shut up? Let me speak now, please.
So that was the yesterday. That was the yesterday. The topic. Let's talk about this.
Rob,
don't be
can you
afraid.
quiet? Let me
Let's
speak, Rob.
talk.
I can't understand anyone.
Order.
If you want to reference, I'm gonna give you reference. Do you want reference?
Rob, can you shut up? Let me speak, Rob. Rob, can you shut up? Let me finish my point. Rob, can you shut up? Let me finish my point, brother.
You can just say that he's a prophet. He's a prophet. He's not a prophet.
Rob, can you shut up? Rob,
he was a
please.
deceiver.
Let's
He deceived
do
millions of people on their way to hell.
Rob, I was in the
Let's
middle.
do one at a time.
Rob, you're doing bullying tactics, Rob. Don't do that bully thing with me because I don't like that bully thing. I don't take it.
Do you want the reference?
I was in the middle of giving. Rob, please. Let's quiet, Rob. Cause we're not gonna entertain your digression, even though I can entertain it.
Rob. That's not.
I can listen. Listen.
That's not Rob.
I can entertain your digression, and I can listen. Regarding this pedophile claim and whatever you guys claiming, I can entertain it and I can school you in the digression, but I'm not gonna entertain it. I'm gonna go back to my initial point. I've given scientific proof why the Quran is have to be from the creator of the heavens and the earth. You get so cold feet. I give one example of the lowest part of the land above the sea level that this human being in the 7th century shouldn't have been saying this. He shouldn't have that fact.
Listen to this.
Why not?
You get so one second.
You got £100 super chat, bro.
Can I speak?
Rob,
bro, that's what I'm
you
trying
get
to
so
say.
cold feet that
I'm not to use that. Like, you need to hold that guy down. He wants to hear you probably.
Jeez, I
gave him a shout out straight away in the chat. But like these two are just rambling. I thought to meet both of them.
Bro, you know you've unmuted.
No, listen.
Oh shit.
Hey, Abdullah, sorry, let me mute your mic, right? Sugar, yo, I need to just salute, yeah. Unfortunately, I wasn't even keeping control of what's going on, right? But we've got men like Imran Khan and dropping another healthy, let me hear you say healthy donation up in here, yeah? So salute to Imran Khan, yeah? You're showing hella mad love, right? Like, you need to actually give me your email address or something so I can give you a personal phone call, personal thank you or something. Jeez, yeah, man. James Speaker's Corner. That's right. We need to shout out Imran Khan. Everybody, man. I can see everybody just, messaging right now. Afro, man. Capone, everybody's just messaging right now. Yeah, so we're all going to be saluting and shouting out Imran Khan, right? So, Imran Khan is doing bits right now. Look at that. Kellyanne is saying, Kalam, give Imran Khan a big shout out. How do you mean? Danny Boy saying 100. Right now, I'm just going to spend the next few minutes.
Let me just say one thing. Kalam.
No. I need to just make sure that the brother Imran Khan gets that love right now. He's getting that shine because, boy, yeah, salute to you, Imran Khan. Enough love for the support, man. I appreciate that. And I swear, the whole Titans TV community is loving you and supporting you for that. Yep.
Yeah, big up, Imran Khan. Big up.
Kalam.
Yeah, Abdullah, what's up?
I'm going to go now because I'm going to come off this. Can I say one thing, brother?
Go on. Go ahead.
Kalam?
Yep.
I'm going now, so can I say one thing to you, Kalam, before I go?
Go ahead.
Kalam?
Yep. Go ahead.
Is Kalam there?
Yeah. Can you not hear me? I'm
saying
saying go ahead.
I mean, you see when we know when Rich was on the panel, Rich step in and Rich establish order, and so I feel like if someone is in the middle of presenting something, you as a person, this is your show, you should step in and tell Rob to be quiet, let the person finish. That's only fear, brother. You understand? Don't let me think like because I'm treatment. And the next thing I find my microphone mute. Is you should have stepped in because you're the head of these things and take charge and say, Rob, the man is in the middle that I've given his proof, or you asked for the proof and he's giving his proof.
Which proof?
No, Rob, Kadam, at least you say to that individual, let some order, let it finish, and then you come back. That's how it work, brother. You understand what I'm saying? That's how it work, brother.
Okay, you want to talk?
Hold on. So yeah, let me get you guys to mute your mics out real quickly. All right. We've got 3 rules on Titans TV, right? Rule number 1 is to keep your mics muted at all times, right? Rule number 2 is to respect your, the Titans or your fellow panel members' cipher. So if they're speaking, please give them the courtesy to finish off what they need to say and don't interrupt. Rule number 3, of course, is no profanity, no ad hominems. We don't want the show to spiral out of control, right? So let's get back into this. Yeah, man. So I just want to shout out again, Imran Khan, because you're just doing major things right now. So salute to you. All right, let's get back into this. So it was Saved by Grace and Khanane. All right. So again, I've said it, keep your mics muted. And I see both of you ain't muting your mics. So since none of you guys are muting your mics, let me go over to Nuwapian Sniper. And Nuwapian Sniper, talk to me. Nuwapian Sniper.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. What are we missing out on? What's going on?
It was going into the Quran and ad hominems and all things you've explained many times over anyway. But for me, I don't see the point of what the conversation just went completely left. We was talking about the spirit, we was talking about the universe, and now we seem to be into scriptures. And I already said that we can't prove, we can't use these books as the form of proof, because this is not what spirituality is about, innit? The spirituality is about actual your feelings and thinking and using your actual, I'm saying it's what drives you as a human being. It's what makes you do actions and do movement. That's the spirit. Do you get what I'm saying? The soul, well, again, that's questionable, but we know it's there. Do you get what I'm saying? So there are things that we can't see. Do you get what I'm saying? That we know are there. You know what I mean? But for me, the scientific method or thing that they use doesn't really work 100% when it comes to the idea of spirituality and metaphysics and that. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah.
I'm with you. All right. Okay. So let me get into some, I think there's going to be a nice little back and forth and some debates going on. So let me open up to Saved by Grace first. Okay. Saved by Grace. Was there something that you guys were saying prior?
Yes. Can you hear me, Kalam?
Yes. And I just need you to make your point real quickly. Okay.
Now, my point, I was listening, the person was presenting Allah as a creator. So I came and I want to talk to him and let him know that Allah is not the creator. Allah is a pagan idol. You see, the most, because the Muhammad said that, I gave an example about the blood. We have to, just the doctor put the blood under the microscope to searching for the sickness, to searching something to find. If Muhammad says, I am a prophet, we cannot blindly follow, say, oh, he's a prophet. We have to put him under the microscope. We have to put him under the microscope to see his deeds, his saying, his action and to check and to see what it says. Is that he is the prophet or he's the false prophet? So the Quran claims that he is the example for the mankind and he is the mercy for the mankind. So my question is, if Muhammad is the example for the mankind, then he has to present the things that will be example for the humankind. But my question is, the 50-year-old man and marrying with 6-year-old child Aisha and consummating his marriage at his 53 when Aisha became 9-year-old and making sex with a child. My question is that the example for the mankind? He took his adopted son's wife, Zainab.
Okay. Let me stop you right there. Okay. Okay. So does anyone on the panel want to quickly deal with that before we move on to something else?
I mean,
I think he asked.
Say body, is that your name? Say body, is that your correct name, yeah?
It's an echo.
Kalam. Did he ask me? I thought he asked me the question directly, and you asked anyone. He brother asked me the question directly.
Okay, go ahead, Abdullah. Let's get Abdullah.
But this man's scared, man. Bro, first of all, I'm gonna touch on 2 points because I hear everything. I hear Maku says I'm gonna deal with Maku point, and I'm gonna deal. I wasn't digressing from the soul or the spirit issue, Maku. But the thing is, I was establishing evidence why the Quran is a valid source to use. Because the Quran says a lot of things about soul, and I got some reference on another page. But I want to establish there. I don't want to just quote from it first when you don't believe in it. So I want to out of the Quran with those inside content proof got to be the creator of the heavens and earth. With those scientific proof I was given. So when I established that first, then I could have quoted that, okay, it's a valid source more than any other human being. If it's on the creator of human being, then the creator of human being in a more valid position to be tell you about you have a spirit or you have a soul and tell you whatever you want to say about it. But this is why I don't give pushing back. So I want to establish the first stage first. So I wasn't going away from the point, Maku, to touch on that point. No, the brother didn't. I was in the middle of giving those proof. I give one example. And it's a factual example that no scientist would disagree. No one can go against that fact. So that for me, that's something that Prophet Muhammad bring to us that we cannot deny. We don't know equipment, and I was about to give him more example, more than just one, so that he might be satisfied if he's not arrogant. No, he go to another thing now. He's talking about social issue now of who a person married in the 7th century. Because I find that when they talk about this, they don't give date. They're scared to cite date. Because in the 7th century, the word pedophilia don't even exist. Let's be clear. So he talk about who the Prophet married in the 7th century. He talk about age. And he talk about, he don't even talk about it's a disputing thing because there's different age. And Kalam himself know this. So I'm find is these people are not sincere. Why they pick one side when there's a disputing factor of different age? Kalam. And if a disputing factor, if there's a dispute factor, then you cannot have no concluded conviction about one side. You start to say, well, we don't figure out our age yet. We don't know yet. At least. That's the best you can do is stay neutral.
Okay, thank you.
I have evidence.
Can I add to that?
I have reference.
I have a quick question, Kalam.
Hold on. I need you guys to mute your mic, right? Let me go to, who's that? Dogaya?
Yes.
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah. Just a quick question. I don't know who was talking. I think his name shows Karnain. Just a question, but does he believe that what the other gentleman just said, that the Prophet married Aisha when she was 6? Does he believe that?
I just said to you, it's a disputing factor. Now, let me give some quick example. Ibn Kathir in his commentary says Aisha have a sister who is 10 years older than her. And she went at the migration to make when the sister died at age 1 age 73 age after the migration, she died at age 100. If she died at age 100, basic maths, because my son can do this basic maths. I hope you can do it as well. If she died at age 100, 73 years after the migration, then common sense tell her that when she moved to the Medina, she must be 27. If she's 10 years older than her sister and she's 27, then common sense must tell you again that her sister must be 17, which is Aisha. Basic maths.
Okay, so...
Yeah? That's one example. I can give you many more.
Aisha
so there's that
Can I speak?
I can give the
Yeah.
reference.
No, not even the,
All
the
right.
reference.
Okay. You don't keep your mics muted, please. Let me get Omar to speak, and then we'll get another person next.
Okay, I think Kwame, he actually surprised me and actually eloquently answered the question twice and brought up Ibn Kathir and stayed within his actual parameters of what it should be as a Muslim. When there's disputed information, you can't strongly say that one is 100% over the other. You know what I'm saying? When the ulama are divided slightly on the situation. But anyway, I would just say to saved by, all I can see is saved by. I assume it's saved by Jesus, not saved by the bell. No, honestly, all I can see is saved by on my side.
Saved by grace.
Saved by Jesus.
Saved by grace.
Oh, saved by grace. Okay.
Yeah, please look good.
Yes, my friend, yeah, listen, I'll just add this to the thing, yeah. You know, when you're in a conversation, yeah, with multiple different people, there's going to be Christians, Hebrew Israelites, Muslims, Shia Muslims, Sunni Muslims, atheists. And actually, this panel is a good microcosm of an example of that, yeah, of the so many different ideologies and lack of ideologies on the panel. It's best not to get triggered if someone says, you know, if someone says Allah is their creator, and then you start just basically going, the Prophet is like it's not gonna work, because there's gonna be fights like that 24/7. It's best just to hold your tongue a little bit, and then later on just point out right at the end, just by the way, guys, I'm Christian and I don't believe Allah's thing, but I see where you were going with it, and for the sake of the conversation to move on, because there's so many people on here. It's just people just get like, ugh, it leaves a bad taste in people's mouth when you just divert, and like we're building and there's a stream of information that's building higher, and it just goes down a little bit.
That's your words.
Say, yeah, to that. Just absorb what I said. You don't have to reply to it.
No, that's your words.
Yeah, I know, but you just think about it.
All right, don't worry about
It's
it.
just advice.
Let's not do back and forth. Okay, let's go to Nino now. So everybody keep mics muted. Nino, go ahead.
We must also not forget that a dead man is not the son himself, and these accusations are accusations based on by people who claim to have known Muhammad. And when you look at it, really, Muhammad had 13 wives in his lifetime, and 12 of them were all adults. So for somebody to tell me now suddenly a man who has 12 wives who are adults is going to marry a 6-year-old, I find that quite strange.
You have to search the hadiths.
Can I give another example as well? I'll give one about Ibn Kathir. Let me give another example as well. It was said that Aisha was born in the era of Surah, when Surah Al-Qamar revealed, the moon. So I like to be generous. If she's born in that year, for example, let's say no, okay, no, she's zero. She's a baby then. If she born in that year, because this is in Bukhari as well, you know. As the age by number don't given, but the time they go by it, she was born in the time when that surah revealed. That is in Bukhari as well. Just that the other one that's claimed that says 6. So we see that there's a problem, you know. But when you do the math, when you do the basic math, it does add up. If she born it the fifth year of the revelation, which is Surah Al-Qamar revealed, the Prophet spent 13 years in Mecca and spent 10 years in Medina. That's his whole mission. I want you to stay with me, yeah. So the 5th year of the revelation now is we have to, in order to have 13 years in Makkah, then before migration, Aisha would already been 8. I'm just showing you something different now. Should already been 8. We know that marriage consummated in Medina. Should already have to been 8. Now, when you get to Medina now, when you get to Medina now, you have there's another 2-year period before 3-year period before anything happened. So we got 8 now. We're gonna add 3 years upon it. We have some. At least we have some. I'm gonna show you how the matter is disputing. It is confusing with different age. You will have somewhere like say 12 or 13 now. Nowhere near 9. Nowhere near 6. Somewhere you got somewhere like 12 and 13 now. And let's add to this now. You're going to talk about the whole entire democratic foundation now. In the 17th, 18th, and 19th century, this was their law. That Sir Matthew Hale, head of the Hale Commission, argued that 10 and 11-year-old is legal by law to have sexual intercourse. I'm not saying I agree with that today. Let's make it very clear.
Kalam, may I say something?
Yes.
May
So
I
it's a
say
disputing
something?
factor. My point is,
Yeah, go
my
ahead.
point is,
Go ahead. Go
the
ahead.
disputing
Just
factor.
mute your mic, Colin. Let
May I
say
say
my grace.
something?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so I want to give a warning for the people who who want to come to Islam. I want to warn them: if you come to Islam, I warn you that the Satan will come in your nose and it will stay in the upper part of your nose. So if you are a Muslim, if you want to come to Muslim, I want to warn you.
Kalam.
Please
Kalam.
be aware. Satan will come in your nose. He will stay in your nose. So you have to 3 times put the water and blow him out.
Kalam.
So that's my warning about this.
Sorry, Satan will be in your nose. Where did you get
Can
that
I
from?
say something?
All right, thank you. Let me just keep your mics muted, please. Keep your mics muted. All right. Let me give a quick shout outs to man like John McDermott. You already know John McDermott is our day one. All right. John McDermott says Peace Times TV only just joined right now. Peace and blessings, brother, and all the chat. May the grace of the Lord be with everyone. All right. Okay. So family tree. Please check Times TV for the debate. Oh yeah. Man, like Sarah Garvey's up in the building. Ezra is here as well. Do you know what? Yeah, like Rob, I'm gonna have to do this because cabs keep saying basically. So I'm gonna ask you: is there any possible way that you may have blocked Gabs without your knowing, or any of your moderators on the shows? If you just check your, community thing on YouTube to see if anybody is blocked. Because sometimes, individuals are blocked on my account, and that's usually down to my moderators. I have to unblock them. You still there, Gab? I mean, you still there, Rob? No. All right.
Yes, buddy, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah. I don't know if there's any way of just checking to see on your community settings.
I'm having a look now.
You may have been blocked.
Go ahead. Let's see now. I mean, I've had a look through here. Go ahead.
Yep. Could you? Is he there at all?
I can see somebody in the hangout. Gab's Medicine. It's like spelled bad, spelled wrong. Is that the guy?
Yeah. Yeah. That's him. So
Yeah, I
Gabs,
can
you
see
can
him.
try.
Yeah. Where's he gone now?
No,
there
on
he is.
YouTube. Yeah. On your YouTube, basically. On your own personal YouTube, in your community settings, you may have been blocked.
Well, just check if he can come in now.
All right, Gabs, try to come in, even though, is the panel full? 2, 4, 6.
Kalam, you can take my place. I'll jump out.
Okay. So, all right, Nina Brown's just jumped out. So if you can, Gabs, come straight in. And if anybody is on here that is not speaking, please, I'm sure other people would love to come in and have their say live on Times TV.
Yeah.
Okay, so where were we?
Can I? So we were, for example, with this topic, we want to go to every person because we wanted to. Rob asked for enlightening of the definition of soul. We haven't heard Arcane yet. Arcane, can you please unmute your mic and can you tell, for example, Rob, what is your definition of soul? Can you give a definition, maybe?
It's not why I'm here, my brother.
Hello, welcome. Is there a possibility you can give a definition of soul? The word soul. Do you have a definition of it? Okay, you there? Okay, problem. Okay, so Kalam, maybe we should move on to share the screen share thing. You can share a screen out and just give a definition.
Oh, yes, I apologize. Yeah, let me get your thing up. So, okay. So this is, I'm not too sure what the website is. Go on, I'll read it out then.
Yes.
Wow.
It says here, the traditional rendering of the Hebrew word nephesh and the Greek word psyche. In examining the way these terms are used in the Bible, it becomes evident that they basically refer to people, animals, or the life that a person or an animal has. In contrast to the way that the term soul is used in many religious contexts, the Bible shows that both nephesh and psyche, in connection with earthly creatures, refer to that which is natural, tangible, visible, and mortal. In this translation, these original language words have most often been rendered according to their meaning in each context, using such terms as life, creature, person, one's whole being, or simply as a personal pronoun, I, for my soul. In most cases, footnotes give the alternative rendering soul, when the term soul is used either in the main text or in footnotes. It should be understood in line with the above explanation. When referring to doing something with one's whole soul, it means to do it with one's whole being, wholeheartedly, or with one's whole life. In some contexts, these original languages words can be used to refer to the desire or appetite of a living creature. They can also refer to a dead person or a dead body. Okay.
Okay, thank you. So, Rob, did you give any attention to what Kalam just read? What is your what do you think of that explanation of soul?
No, sorry, mate. I didn't hear it so well. I'm half listening. I'm doing some work at the moment as well, so I'm half listening.
Okay, then maybe we should talk another time then. Maybe somebody else can give their ideas about it, or else I'm just said enough.
Okay, so let's.
I mean, the main point is, how do we demonstrate any of this is true?
Well, if you just gave some attention to it, maybe that will give you answer. We get back to this, Rob. It's okay. We do that another time. Yeah, Kalam, you wanted to say something? I'm sorry. I just muted my mic.
Yeah. So let's. I don't know if you guys want to switch the topic or stay on the same thing.
Why not? Maybe somebody else can say something new. Yo, Buddha. What is that?
Kalam.
Yep.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum salam to that.
I just want to say that following hadith is a form of shirk. And I have empirical evidence in the Quran to back that up.
All right.
Don't know about all that.
Drop it, Oz. Let's hear it.
Do you think, Oz?
Oh, God.
If for you is following hadith as shirk, why do you pray 5 times in the day?
I don't pray 5 times a day.
Why do you pray 5 times a day?
There's a lot of feedback, you know.
What happened to Gabs? He jumped in and jumped straight out.
I don't pray 3 times. I pray 3 times a day. I don't pray 5 times because that is what the Quran prescribes.
Is Shahada in the Quran?
Yes.
Yep.
Where it's in the Quran says to become a Muslim, you must say. I don't want to say this. The Shahada things that where is that says? And formula of Shahada.
Why are you going off topic? I said I have empirical evidence to prove that following hadith is shirk.
Yeah, drop it, man. Drop it.
Yeah, can you provide evidence, please?
Yeah, so that's chapter 6, verse 114.
Is that about Shahada?
My friend, it's nothing to do with Shahada. Listen, don't worry about Shahada. Relax. We'll get to Shahada, yeah?
Okay.
Inshallah.
I wish that you have a revelation who the Allah is.
So anyone going to bring that up? Kalam?
Are you gonna read it out at
Yeah.
all? Yeah. Are you gonna read it out?
Yeah.
Shut the partners with God, isn't it?
So basically, as it says here, Sahih International, say there is it other than Allah I should seek as judge, while it is He who has revealed to you the book explained in detail, and those to whom we gave the scripture know that it is sent down from your Lord in truth, so never be among the doubters.
Oh, God.
All right.
Okay. So
Is that something? Something with the hadith?
One second. I want to ask the brother. How many times in the Quran does it say to pray?
Hello. It said
hold on,
3
hold on.
times a day, my brother.
Okay. Can I get everybody to mute your mics, please? Okay. Everybody mute their mics. I want Oz now, because you know you brought something to us. Your premise was about following hadiths is shirk and so forth. So can you explain your point and your evidence that you brought forth?
Yeah, because basically you shouldn't need anything but Quran, and the Quran specifies that. And you can go to chapter 6, verse 38 as well for me, please, Kalam. Yeah, so this is Sahih International, chapter 6, verse 38. And there is no creator on the earth or bird that flies with its wings except communities like you. We have not neglected in the register a thing. Then unto you their Lord will be gathered. Can you still hear me, Kalam?
Yeah.
And then if you can pull up to 16, verse 89 for me, please.
1689. Okay.
Huh? Ah. Brother? Masumali Aki, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I don't see whatever you quote prove that following Hadith is church.
Okay.
Because within the same Quran,
Later. Abdullah, later. Let's just make him finish it first, and then we can find out what's going on. Right, it's 1 o'clock already. No. All right, go ahead.
Kalam, for 1 second, can you drop the Hangout link for Gabs to jump in so I can jump out?
Yeah. Dropped it so many times, man. Okay. So I know already that I'm getting tired. Let's go. So can I get you to read out yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so this is Sahih International, chapter 16, verse 89. And it's on Kalam's screen. And mention the day when we will resurrect among every nation a witness over them for themselves. And we will bring you, O Muhammad, a witness over your nation. And we sent down to you the book as clarification for all things and a guidance and mercy and good tidings for the Muslims. So my point with these verses is that we should not be looking to any other scripture except the Quran.
Okay. And how did you work out that following hadiths is shirk?
Because you're associating partners with Allah.
Okay. But what if one says one's not worshipping the other scriptures?
regardless, the verses that I just gave you clearly state that you shouldn't follow any scripture except the Quran because it is pure and it is 100% all you need.
I think Oz and Titan need to sit down and before you lot get into this, probably discuss what is shirk. You might need one of them ones still.
Yeah, you need to bring him into another conversation, into another debate, my G. Don't do it. Oh, don't do it. All right. I'm gonna open up to you guys, right? But rest assured, I'm gonna go to my bed soon. Okay. So, and that being said, let's see. What's the time now? So let's just say 1:05, right? So another 10 minutes. Okay. So I'm gonna mute myself out, and I'm gonna hope that you guys can organize yourselves and be all right. Okay. Oh man, Gabs is here. Jeez. All right, Gabs, can I get you to come in actually first?
Yeah, buddy. What's happening?
Hey, yo.
Bro, that was a struggle. That was a struggle,
Trust me,
man.
bro. I don't know what was going on, fam. It was like Monopoly still. It was crazy. It was crazy. But I'm there.
Big up, Gabs. Big up.
Yes. Hey, what's going on? Hey, listen. You said you got the bowler. What's that hat you got on? Them old school hats.
Yeah, man. The winter. I've covered it here.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, man.
I see you got your stuff in the background. There you go.
English guy thing, you know.
There you go. Nah, that's
You
cold,
know?
man. That's cold. You good though, yeah?
Yeah, man. Good, man. You?
Yeah, man. I'm good, man. Yeah, me. Oba, Buddha, Sniper. Who else is there? Speakers saved.
Yes,
Say that saved by grace.
Yes, big up. So
Saved by
what did you
grace.
do? What did you do
Nino.
to Rob to block you?
You good, my brother?
Bro, I don't know. I don't know. I've never spoke. I don't know. I've never been. I think I've been on his channel probably once. That was like months back.
I don't know how that happened, Gab. Sorry if that happened. It was not intentional. You're a great guy. So
Man.
it's
It's
not,
all good, man.
Definitely didn't do that on purpose. There's one or two
Man, it's all
people I
good.
blocked, but it's not you. That's for sure.
Oh,
Not
okay.
intentionally.
Nah, that's all good, man. It's good. It's good. But to be fair, I wanted to come in earlier. I know the topic's kind of drifted. I wanted to come in earlier when we was talking about the universe and all that, man. Yeah, that was
good
proper.
stuff, isn't it?
Yeah,
Go on,
I
then.
like that stuff,
You drop
man.
us some bombs on the universe. Come on.
On the universe. Yeah, there we go. Because
Well,
I came in and I think what was the question? If the universe is eternal or
Is it eternal? Did it have a beginning?
okay? Did it have a
And the
beginning?
scientific consensus at the moment is that we don't know.
Scientific. Okay, we don't know.
Depending on
Okay.
what model you go by.
Okay. All right. Well, me personally, this is just based on my own observation on myself and just looking around at certain things, nature, and obviously looking at scriptures and different things. I come to the conclusion. Well, I think me personally that the universe is I think it's eternal. You know, it only makes sense for it to be an eternal thing because some of the brothers, some of us yesterday was on last night. It was good. It was a good conversation that we was having dealing with the creator and his words being eternal and all these things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of attribute that to like the universe as well. You know what I mean? So like I said, we don't know when the first sun was ever created. You know, scientists can't tell you when the first sun was created. So
You mean like the first star, Gab? Is that what you mean?
the first, yeah,
Well,
the first
we can
star.
tell you more or less. Yeah, they're more or less within like a couple of 100 million years, but not closer than that.
Oh, they can tell you. Say that again.
Isn't it? Maybe that's the closest one to existence of what we are reality, but it's not for the whole universe, can it? Can't be residual energy for a sun, that used to be there, or a singularity, or whatever they want to say.
No,
Well,
but that's remember this, yeah. That singularity had the power of every single sun and every single possible piece of thing that has any potential energy inside of it, all in that one singularity. We're talking about friggin' straight, blah, straight obliterate, like no chance of anything, getting nowhere near nothing like that.
Mm.
You smell me?
Do you know what I wanted to say, Omar? Do you know?
So are we agreeing that it's the sun then?
That's what I was gonna say. Do you know why? Because I think. Do you know why, Snap? I was gonna piggyback on what you just said there because I think I've said this once before. I'll say it again. See if anybody can probably chime in and give their input. Can anyone give me do they know of anything in the universe right now that explodes?
Anything in the universe that explodes?
Yeah. So tell me something in the universe that you know of that explodes.
A nitro and glycerin mix.
Supernova.
And okay. And what's a supernova?
It's a massive star that burns its fuel out and then explodes.
All right.
A black hole, right?
All right.
Well,
All right.
some of them might do, some don't.
Okay.
Some don't. Yeah. There you go. So as far as we know, the only thing that we heard from what science told us, the only thing that we know that explodes in space in the universe is a supernova star.
Oh no! I wouldn't say that's the only thing. I mean, it depends what you mean by explodes, because black holes do. I don't know whether you call it explodes. It depends on your definition. I mean, black holes eject massive amounts of matter. There's a special name for it, but they've got some beautiful pictures of how that's happened. They've actually observed black holes.
Okay.
Yeah, but is that coming from the process?
But how does a black hole how's a black hole created?
From the same process.
Okay.
Oh, from a massive star that implodes. The gravity is so strong it implodes on itself.
So you get my point. So what my main point is, it's a star. You know, either way you want to talk about it, it's still going to lead you back to some sort of star, which is my point. So if we're going to
create that star, then
now this is the thing now, because all we see in our universe when we look around, look, they say there's how many billions and billions and trillions of stars out in the universe, yeah. So that's showing you that those are billions of stars that have exploded. Some have taken different forms. Some have created their own solar systems. Some may be black holes. You know, loads of information, like Rob just said, is being spewed out of the black hole. You know, it's just an ongoing process. So now, if we're gonna say, when we go now to the Big Bang, yeah, why don't we see that as another star, or like the same process? Like we see it nowadays. Why don't we just see that as the same? Backwards.
But remember, the process from the singularity point to what we have now, the initial first few seconds. Let's just do like the first 100 seconds of it. Yeah, it's not even though it's close, but it's not exactly the process of a star either imploding on itself or exploding. And
yes, it is. Unfortunately, yes, it is.
No, it's not. It's not exactly the same.
Because you're missing out. You're missing out. Like as Rob
it's
said.
more like a controlled explosion.
Yeah, but a supernova.
That's like an amateur bummy way of describing it. Like, I'm not doing it justice. Someone's probably cringing at home right now. Sorry, but yeah.
No, because at one end of the singularity, yeah, it's going to be a supernova, and how we get from one end of the singularity to the other is a black hole.
Do you know
so it's like a cycle process? You know what I'm saying? They know it's a process. Hold on.
Say that again?
They know it's a process for stars, right? The way a star works. Either it becomes a white dwarf. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It under the pressure of its own weight becomes a black hole. Do you know what I'm saying? Then out of the black hole are born nebulas, you know, which are like, you know, big dust clouds and blah, blah, blah. And the process starts all over again. So it's a process. It's a process. It's a process.
But the thing is, they say that laws, not just the process, not just like space and existence as we know it, but the laws that govern our existence also came at that singularity point, which is even more sickening to even try and quantify in your head.
Which laws?
The laws of like time, space, and gravity.
Yeah, the laws of physics.
Yeah, I know that's what the scientists say, but you know, as you say, we got to use our own logic.
What we're going to take from the scientists. If we're going to run with this, We have to run with all of it that they put together.
Not
And
just
that's
the
where,
same.
hold on, 1 minute. And that's where, hold up, bro. There's feedback coming from your mic, fam. Yeah, that's where, see, I just forgot now. Okay. Nah, I lost it from
You're
that
talking
feedback.
about time. You're talking about something to do with the laws of time, physics, or something like that.
Yeah.
Come
And then
into play.
someone said something. Nah, I lost it. I was gonna say something. But yeah, let's just whoever Maku was saying something. He got inspired to say something when I said the laws.
Yo, can I jump in there when you're done, Omar?
Oh, because we're picking and I said something like we're picking and choosing what we're gonna say, but obviously, oh yeah, that's it. So now, yeah, it's so mind-boggling, yeah, that's where it's so implausible to happen unless it was control. Because we've got to look at it from like an atheist point of view now. We can't just say, oh, God just did it like that. But it's so implausible and unrealistic, but it's such a like 1 in a trillion gazillion bazillion, like it's such a hard number, yeah, that's where this multiverse comes into to say, all right, that by that number of how implausible it is for that to happen, for all that to be explosion, that controlled explosion to happen exactly concisely, so that gravity, time, space is all balanced, yeah, perfectly with this explosion. Because remember, if you explode a bit of dynamite now, yeah, it'll be random, you know what I'm saying? But this was controlled, yeah. That this multiverse possibility would say, all right, cool. There's an infinite amount of possibilities, just as there's an infinite amount of universes, and we exist in that universe that possibility matches up with. That's where it comes from. That's the only way of, and I get it. That's the scientific way to explain it, but don't get it twisted. That's where it comes from, because it's so hard to quantify that particular chance of it happening, that probability. But go ahead.
All right. Let me try to jump in.
I would say simplify it. What we're saying is, yeah, imagine, yeah, not a big bang, but imagine there was a sun the size of maybe, I don't know, we can't imagine the size of this.
No, but it had to be tiny, like on the like less than your fingertip at one point. But with all the power of all of those things that we described, everything that's ever existed, all contained in that tiny little pebble that's just the size of your thing. And then in the first 100 seconds, it expanded to like friggin' massive, like way bigger than.
Let me try and jump in there.
Am I right? But Rob, you interrupt me if I'm saying something wrong now, yeah? According to your scientists that you know about and stuff.
Yeah, it's an inflation. It's not the same as an explosion, right? So
yeah, but it's a rapid inflation of like,
so
was it the size of my fingertip? Less than my fingertip.
No, it was infinitely small, infinitely dense, infinitely hot, infinite curvature. We don't really understand that. Our minds can't grasp it.
Exactly.
Suffice to say, it was so small and hot and dense and everything else.
Everything that's ever existed, all the power in the whole universe condensed into that one little microscopic particle.
Who told you it was the whole universe? This is the problem. This could be just a singularity in that point, in that process. Do you know what I'm saying? Of collapsing, yeah, and becoming a nebula and starting the whole process again by pushing out all of this energy and all of these suns and blah, blah, blah. Because the funny thing is, our sun is the smallest one in our galaxy. We've got the smallest sun in our galaxy.
No, well, that's not true. Maku, that's not true.
You better check that out.
Maku, that's not true.
I don't think it is the smallest, no.
No, it's definitely not the smallest. We have white
quite
dwarfs
small,
that are way smaller than our sun.
Yeah,
our
I
sun
know.
is somewhere in the middle. In fact,
but we
not
get
even
his
in the
point.
middle.
We get his point. Go ahead.
No, it isn't. We got a small our sun. There's stars bigger, 400-500 times bigger than the size of our sun. Like Sirius.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. But there are also stars that are smaller, right? So
our
our
sun
sun is the smallest.
in our thing. So yeah, when we say a singularity, maybe it might just be that sun was as big to cause what we call the Milky Way. If we could imagine that, I don't think it's above the realm of possibility. And then go one bigger.
All right, what about Andromeda then?
No,
is that right? Is that the other one nearest to us? Is that another one that's near to
us? The galaxy.
Omar, do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna write what I want to say in the back.
Oh no, sorry.
Yeah? All right, no, you do your thing, man.
Triggered.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, it must have been a huge sun because of what Rob's saying and the scientists are saying about they can trace this energy, this dark matter, to a single spot where it must have expanded or whatever man want to say. You say exploded or whatever from. Do you get what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean that's the point of the whole universe. That means
that implausibility of that happening so finely balanced, and we actually exist. The fact that we actually exist is so crazy to me that it makes me think there's a God. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Just
no,
calculating these things is so like if we're gonna run with Maku's thing, it was a random explosion and we're here. Do you know how freaking hard that is?
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying
all that balance perfectly.
I would never say a random explosion. Like, make sure.
Okay, all right. It was controlled, yeah.
Right. I'm saying what we know as our available universe, yeah, came about because there was a big sun, yeah, whether it collapsed, imploded, something happened, yeah, giving us what we know as our available universe. Do you get what I'm saying? But what's on the other side of that? Do you get what I'm saying? Even though that exploded, it didn't create the whole universe.
Yeah, but Maka, nobody knows if
Can
there
I
was
say
a
that?
big.
Can I say one thing, brother? Maku, I think that's hypothetical, though, isn't it? I mean, if you're gonna do science, if you're gonna do science, then you have to have like a certain rules that we're
So
gonna
what?
go for.
Hold
Certain
on. Is
junction
this
of
a
certain.
Muslim-only chat? All the Muslims get to chat apart from me.
All right, speak, brother. Sorry,
Conspiracy,
speak.
man.
I was waiting long enough. Speak, my brother. Speak. Sorry.
I'm breaking balls. Do your thing, my friend. Do your thing.
No, Buddha. We want to know what your point was, man, because I don't want it to become no Islamic thing anyway.
It's all right, man. It already has. Don't worry about it. Do your thing.
I don't really see it how it is.
Come
This
on,
is
Buddha.
a philosophical thing now. We're talking about like cosmology.
Always a Islamic thing, and I'll just speak anyway. I was listening long enough anyway, so I'm just thinking.
I know. I was just saying.
I'm not gonna stay long enough. I just want to say one thing. I hear that's a hypothetical statement, like and with all respect to everyone, is must be, maybe, and these things. For me, the moment someone going to that, they're not going based on after it's not an empirical account, like of certainty to me. So we have to stick with what scientists discover based on.
My brother. It's like saying some of our Akis here subscribe to the idea. I don't know if you subscribe to the idea that God is outside of his creation. Do you subscribe to that thinking? My brother?
Yeah. It's literal essence.
Right.
But why do I say that? Why do I say that?
So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, yeah, there can be that big bang and that explosion, yeah. But what's on the other side of that? Is that the singularity that started everything, or is that just another process in our endless universe?
I think it's another process, but I don't think it's within what we know as our universe. But if you want to call it a universe, because we haven't got another word for it, let's call it the mother universe or something like that, or like heaven number one, yeah, the first realm of heaven. And this hold up, this universe exists possibly because remember now, if we let's take it Islamic for a bit. Remember, in Surah Al-Fatiha we say Lord of the worlds, plural. There's multiple worlds, and it's more probable that if there is a Lord, then just in this universe alone, he's probably got multiple universes. It wouldn't make sense for him not to. But again, just keeping it from an Islamic point of view, yes, Maku, you're right. It does say Lord of the worlds, multiple worlds. Some say the 7 worlds. In some tafsirs, they've tried to understand it as they're on top of each other. Some would say that I've heard other different good beliefs as well. But yeah, it does state that there's multiple.
Right. So that would, I mean, I'm just saying, like, we complicate things in it in saying that, oh, that would be complicated to fathom, the beginning of our existence in the universe. We don't have to go so big. You know what I'm saying? As I said, we can't even really examine what's going on in our available Milky Way, because for us, that's the universe. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying.
It's only because someone managed to send a camera out further for us to know that, look, there's more than what we are. We're only in a small spinning cycle of a sun. You know what I'm saying? That's collapsing on itself.
I'm saying the touchstone. I'm just saying there's got to be a touchstone that we're gonna go that people go by. I mean, I just give an example like I quote from Quran, but I just know okay then people in the room they're not gonna agree that narrative. Many people not gonna agree that narrative. So I can go by Quran fact that I know, so not hypothesis. Not so for me when people say possible, maybe, and these things, it's a ghost argument to me. I'm just saying we go for it by and when I see the scientific fact, what has been discovered to be fact, not theory, no fact, and I look into what the Quran says before that, to me those scientific facts are playing catching up. So there's no conflict between them, no conflict because they're compatible. Because speak about the gas, the smoke.
Listen.
About the singularity and these things.
There are
Matthew, let me say one point. Matthew, let me say one sentence. Yeah?
Let me tell him something.
I'm just gonna say one sentence. Yeah? For me, Kwame, you remind me a bit of you're like a bit like Rob in a sense. Yeah, you only take whatever the Quran says or scientists, and you don't go further than that. And you're kind of like him, which like you remind me of each other in that sense, and I respect that. You know what I'm saying? Me, I'm different to you. Yes, I go by Quran and science, but I also like to look at other things as well and like what's going on and try and piece it all together. What did the ancient tribes over here used to know about stuff? What did these ancient tribes used to know about? You know what I'm saying? And then piece more and more and more. And then how do I feel? And when I'm wilding out and stuff like that, because remember, you have so I mean, again, not to like use an evolution analogy, but yeah, you had the caveman that was sitting in the cave and the guy who went out, you know what I'm saying? And I'm the guy who's trying to go, you know, I'm trying to go a step further like a pioneer. And to do that, you're gonna have to test the waters and try crazy stuff.
By the way, in the cave was not a Gabriel, it was a demon spirit.
At the beginning of the conversation, I swear.
Can I answer the brother point? I don't know.
We need to leave the books out. The books cannot, you know what I'm saying? Because our existence is before any books. Yeah. So we can't really bring our religious paradigm because they're not factual. They're not even historical 100%. We can't prove all the facts. You know what I'm saying?
Someone's got the thing playing in the background. Someone needs to mute their mic.
You say science, but you keep talking about the Quran being facts. You gotta be careful.
That's science, brother. Please, Maku. When
okay, hold on.
I don't think you understand the definition of science. What's the definition of science, brother? What's the definition of science?
One second. All right, family. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna shut down the show in 5 minutes, right? I know we was gonna shut it down about 10 minutes ago. So I'm gonna lock off on my side, so that means the show is gonna shut off in 5 minutes. But of course, it's gonna continue till the early hours of the morning, right? So unfortunately for the live show, it's gonna be going down in 5 minutes time. So please try to enjoy as much as you can. I'm here for the next 28 seconds. So just simply type Titans TV if you want me to read out your comments or anything to me personally. And let me just thank my my panelists that have come on. Shouts out to Mo Abbey. God damn, I didn't even know that he was up in the building. We got Gabs, we've got Buddha Bing, Middlesex Omar, Nino Brown, Wapian, Karnain IE, Abdullah, Saved by Grace, Dogia, who passed through earlier on, Speakers Corner UK, Rob. Shouts out to all the panel members. Let me shout out to Ultra Funky, J Boogie, John McDermott, and all of the regulars, Hawaya, all of the regulars that always show love. So let me just shout you guys out and just show some major support to Imran Khan, man. Love, love, love. So yeah, family tree, we're going to be shutting down in the next 5 minutes time. All right. Peace.
I mean, as the brother was saying earlier on, that's the thing with scientists. Scientists will tell you they have most of the answers. You go to religious people, they'll tell you they have the answers. So you can't really get to the nitty-gritty of who really has the truth, really. That's why I expect to be the man that's searching and the man that claims to know everything.
100.
You know what I mean, bro?
Yeah, big point.
Science just mean a production, exploration of your senses, going out basically. So even the way back before some equipment, when he could use his naked senses, he's still doing science. But he's just doing naked science, brother. Please, it's still science.
I just think, yeah, the
So
point
when
I'm trying to make,
but
the point
I
that
said
Oz,
to you,
hold up 1 minute. The point that Oz is trying to say is, hold up. The point that Oz is trying to say is that, like whoever, like Rob, yeah, like Rob just wants to go with. He's like he said earlier on, he goes fairy tales, yeah, when he talks about religions or any ancient scriptures or whatever, yeah, or even stories, yeah, like even a story from the Bible, for example, yeah. 1 sec. Basically, friggin' no, 1 sec. Okay, yeah. Who is that? Is that me? That can't be me. Okay, anyway, yeah. So basically, this what it is, yeah. Rob, yeah, he only takes science, yeah. He's like anything else, fairy tales, mumbo jumbo, don't want to hear it, yeah. For me, he's disarmed himself in this world, this finite world that we live in, that we're not going to live forever. Why not look into it? Why not try and add something to it? If you're telling me there's a plethora of information from like all these different religions in the world, and you're saying you can't ascertain nothing from any of these scriptures to better your life, you're walking blindly. Same way for any person who goes in that direction, says, no, I only stick to nothing else, because I don't know, like it's already hard to move around in this world, yeah, as it is, yeah.
Omar, there's a
Yeah, go
difference
ahead.
between something being true and something having utility value. I don't deny that people can get some value from religion. What I'm claiming, what I'm challenging is whether it's true, i.e., it reflects reality. Somebody can claim, "Hey, I was a gangster and I became a Muslim and I'm a wonderful person now." Brilliant. I can't argue with that. But what I can challenge is whether the ideology is true. Do you get the distinction?
I do get the distinction, but remember, yeah, I wasn't even taking a jab at you just in Islam. I'm talking about generally speaking, because you're a person who doesn't look at any religion, right? You have not looked into any religion. You think all religions is untrue, right?
Well, I think the basic claims, the bigger claims are true or untrue, but that doesn't mean that other claims. I don't say all claims are untrue, but the bigger claims about a God certainly. I've got no reason to believe that's true, but that doesn't
But
mean
if it
other
came,
claims
if
might
it,
not be true,
if we was to look at a
like
subject in
historical
this,
claims or something.
yeah, if we was to look at a subject in this world, yeah, if we were talking about dealing with a child that has depression, yeah, dealing with a sad individual child, yeah, and someone presented you some information from a tribe somewhere, yeah, in Africa, or an ancient scroll from China, and said, "Do with it like this. This is old," and you're saying, actually, no, we've got methodology of how to deal with these things, yeah. We have you know all these psychologists and psychiatrists, and we have medicine to drug them, and this raises this level of of endorphins, and this lowers this, etc. You'd go down that route. You wouldn't look at a piece of old scripture, would you, with no medical like if the medical board had not backed it, you would look at it and just without
No, well,
looking,
if it
you'd
but Omar,
reject it, wouldn't you? Be honest, be honest, be honest.
no, Omar, I wouldn't. If in
Okay.
fact we can show that it works, that the old ancients had some technique of solving some medical problem, and we could demonstrate that it works effectively and reliably, I'm going to accept that. But remember, your
But you
original claim
wouldn't,
earlier in the show.
You would want a demonstration first before you tried it, though, right?
Well, how are we going
You
to find out?
would want data. You would want data to say, all right, it's been tried this many times, on this many people, and we've got the evidence. We've done the test studies, and we can categorically say yes. 4 out of 10 people that tried it, it worked. So I'm willing to give it a go. You're not going to come through unless if I've got none of those tests, none of those boards, none of those things to show you there's evidence to say, look, you got to trust me, yeah. These ancient cultures didn't run around collecting data on who it worked on and who it didn't, yeah. But
They
I've
did.
heard from the
Oh,
grapevine. This,
Omar.
go ahead.
Omar, they did.
Okay,
Some
but I
of
don't
the
even
ancient
want to go
characters
down
did.
that route. I don't even want to.
No, but they did do testing, bro. They didn't just say, "Hey, take this," and then yeah, you're fine.
100.
You have to.
Can I make
And my situation is that they're even better. Those ancient things are way better than that. But I want to do it step by step.
Omar, can I say something quickly?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, it's funny, yeah, if we look like all the people who decide to be atheists. Now let's look at it. Now, people who have been and have apartheid on their conscience, transsexuals. Do you get what I'm saying? there are a few people, a section of society where things maybe have gone wrong in their life, and they don't have that feeling for their God no more. So the most suitable thing is to become an atheist.